You are now listening to Nerd Rage Radio with Bobby Skullface and Adam Russman. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only and may not fit with your sensitive sensibilities. You may be a victim of meaningless outrage, or you may, in fact, be a big ninny pants. If this is the case, please feel free to turn it off now. This is no country for Ninny McNinny pants. So crack open the Mountain Dew. Make sure the cheese doodles are super fresh. We're in your mother's basement. It's Nerd Rage Radio.
And welcome to your New Year's episode of Nerd Rage Radio.
We decided to go with a more somber tone for 2019. Just calm it down.
2019 is going to be the low energy year.
Just take a minute.
It's an odd year.
You know what I mean?
So usually,
flowers.
Usually okay for you?
Mm-hmm.
Odd years?
Odd years are usually my years.
Oh.
With one exception. One big exception.
Yeah, it happens. Chris, welcome to episode 175 of Nerd Rage Radio.
Thank you for the warm invite there and the warm presentation.
That's great. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Let's keep this vibe going
Yeah,
for the next 4 hours.
We're going to get rid of a few display cases down here and get a nice electric fireplace. Warm the joint up a taste.
Oh, my coffee's just at perfect temperature.
It is nice.
Yeah. What's up, everybody?
What's up? Happy New Year.
Yeah, I'm not faking on the melatonin. I'm fucking tired. Maybe this coffee will kick in. And that fucking pound of lettuce I just ate. That was ridiculous.
That was legit.
Very big pieces. Somebody should have taken a knife.
Huge head of lettuce.
Somebody should have taken a knife to that prior to it.
You know what? I didn't want to go. It was so wet lettuce. I didn't want to take a fucking, it's moving. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. See, sometimes it does that.
I don't know why either. I just try to keep track of the levels.
So you push this. There it is.
There it is.
I figured it out.
There it is.
It's so never mind. But I bought some bullshit salad from Burger King, which was probably a mistake. But I just needed something to eat. I might have had like half of a chicken tender worth of chicken on that son of a bitch.
It wasn't a lot.
And maybe like 3 specks of bacon. Somebody's like, "Fuck this, dude. He's gonna wish a lettuce, sprinkle of cheese, fucker." So that's my nerd week. No, Bobby, how was your nerd week? Let's start with you. I feel like we haven't started with you for a while.
Mine was pretty good. I can cap off the drama from last week because remember she was having the phone call conversation. And
previously, on Nerd Rage Radio.
So she was pretty.
Well, for those of us that are just joining the show, you might have to catch us up to speed a little bit.
I can't. It's too much. Just go back to last week. Start at 174.
There was Christmas Eve beef with Laura's mom.
That's been ongoing since November. That was ongoing from July.
1996.
Yeah, exactly.
Since 1996.
Was there a chicken dish or was it just beef?
Just beef.
Dude, that lightsaber looks good as fuck in there. Mm-hmm. Especially I'm not looking at that bullshit-ass Prime.
Yeah, he's upstairs now. Yeah.
Continue.
And looks much better higher, by the way.
Does he? Good. Mm-hmm. I'm glad.
Everything looks better higher.
That's probably true.
I don't think we're talking. Never mind.
Oh, that's true, too. Possibly. She came in, we talked, and she said, basically she laid it out and was like, just count him out. If you want to do anything, plan on me not attending or plan it on the days at work. She was like, well, what if, we really try to make an effort, blah, blah, blah. And Laura's like, no, not for a while. For a while, we're gonna keep everybody at bay.
Good for her.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd be lying if I said there's not a part of me that wants to have a one-on-one conversation with her also, but I haven't made a decision as to that yet. I finished watching Daredevil.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. I love it from episode 6 or 7 on.
Okay. So basically half of it.
Yeah, well, with one exception. We're going to get a little spoilery.
Did you finish it, Adam?
No.
But
go ahead.
Did you start it?
I pushed the play button. Mm-hmm. It got about 8 seconds in. I was like, I can't do this.
The episode that goes into Karen's past,
yes,
could have done without.
Okay.
I understand having the opportunity to do stuff like that in a long formatted media where you have 13 hours to. But if the season didn't take half the season to get me invested in it, I would have been more open to it. But by that point, I'd finally started to give a fuck and just wanted to get the ball fucking rolling.
Yeah, I will say that didn't give you. It might have given you a little bit of her motivations, but past that, you can probably just skip that entire episode because it doesn't blend into anything. And knowing that information it's almost like reading the trade and not reading the
tie-ins.
The tie-ins.
Yeah,
stories.
it was a tie-in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But it was a really well done. It slowed everything down again, and I'd finally started caring, so I was a little bummed about that.
You started caring about Karen.
I started caring, you might say.
Hey, listen, guys, if I'm going to be here, we have to talk about something. The water puns have got this.
What about puns in general?
I mean, it was just because of Aquaman.
Hopefully that goes away soon.
Yeah, it's just it's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Oh, real quick. I told you I'm going to watch it when
it comes out.
It comes on TNT. So Suicide Squad just came on TNT.
Right.
Oh, water puns. Sorry.
Yeah, puns in general. It's a thing.
Yeah, so we were talking about Aquaman being. I told you I'd watch it when it comes on TNT. Well, Suicide Squad just debuted on TNT last night. So
You got about 3 years.
yeah, I'll be up to speed.
I had a theory, Chris, I want to ask you about.
Oh boy.
I think that your aversion to DC right now is because you were so invested in Suicide Squad, like cinematically, emotionally, statue game,
Sexually.
maybe sexually.
Killer Croc.
Yeah. BET. I know you're a fan
Exactly.
of BET.
Yeah.
And I think that there was a lot of sizzle there, but no steak for that movie in general.
Okay.
And because you saw it quite a few times, right?
I saw it a good bit, but I also watched BBS a lot.
Okay, but I think BBS is maybe more. I mean, I'm not expecting the question. I'm not. I think BBS is more easier to forgive its transgressions than Suicide Squad. I think we can agree there.
Adam, I'll tell you, Justice League broke my heart.
Okay,
and that's why I'm here.
So you've built this up, and then now because Justice League did what it did to you, apparently, you're just like
it didn't fulfill my needs.
You're hating
Killer Croc would.
Yeah, you can no longer be objective about the films individually.
It's coming from a place of hurt.
Yeah,
you're
in pain.
That's what it is.
That's semi-accurate.
Every time I look at that Killer Croc statue, that I can't.
Yeah, and see, I was noticing that Captain Boomerang and the Killer Croc statue in your basement on New Year's. I was like, he's got to be reminded every time he comes to look at joyful things.
and that Joker. Now, actually, I think those are going away, but
really,
yeah.
No, I thought they were prized possessions.
No, nothing's.
It's all fluid.
It's all fluid. It's all fluid.
But yeah, I finished Daredevil.
Everything's a process,
and it was the last half of it. The back half was great.
I think it tied a good bow around it, especially considering what happened.
The only complaint that I have, or not complaint, regret, is that we didn't see Boomerang put the fucking mask on.
You mean Bullseye?
That's what I meant. Bullseye. They got Suicide
You're
Squad.
talking about Suicide Squad. That's all you're thinking about.
But it would have been so easy to do because you only need a ski mask to kind of make it work.
What about that last scene where they zoomed in on his eyeball?
Too much.
Too much?
Too much. Didn't care for that at all.
Put a little bullseye
on his eyeball
when he was in the hospital. I think.
It was like the glare.
Yeah.
Sure.
Maybe a light reflection off of the ground or the floor, the tile floor, back to his eye, perhaps.
I mean, but it was like a glare that was a bullseye. It was like projected on his eye. Type
sure.
Of thing.
Yeah, that's the way it seems.
Gotcha. I did see the scene like on a Facebook, like somebody edited like when Daredevil was confronting Kingpin at the end. He's like, "Kill me!" He's all bloody, and he's talking about his weakness with Vanessa and everything. It looked good.
Yeah, that was.
But I was like, okay, I get it.
D'Onofrio killed that role.
Yeah, he did. I mean, and the writing is so clever for him in that the way that he. This was all predetermined. Nothing was an accident.
Yeah. I liked him a lot in this season. He stole the show, but I don't want to see Daredevil in the handkerchief for a whole season.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Bullseye in a Daredevil suit for the whole season. So I think it was kind of a missed opportunity.
Did he get the suit back?
Yes. No.
Well, there were It turns out there were 2 or 3 suits because the guy who makes his suits, whose name I can't remember.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Suit man.
Suit man.
He's Whirlwind.
And it's Betsy. It was Betsy, right? Because Betsy's his
Girlfriend.
Yeah, but it was his parole officer, really.
Correct.
There's a whole stink. Yeah. So he made him an extra. Kingpin blackmailed him. He's gonna hurt Betsy.
Yeah.
He's gonna hurt Betsy.
Which was fine. But I think that it was a missed opportunity. The whole arc with him and his mother is fantastic.
Yeah. Is that comic accurate
I
at
believe
all?
so.
Okay.
I believe
I
so.
didn't.
But I'm no expert.
It's recent though, right?
Yes, that too, I believe.
Yeah.
And I don't care for unfortunately, him and Foggy and Karen are the least interesting thing to me about that season.
Yeah.
I like Fisk a lot, and I like his mother a lot, and the priest a lot as well. Like just in terms of finding the show interesting.
From a writing standpoint, I mean, some of the opening scenes is the agent and his family, and there's sickness.
Nadine.
And the way that all that just seamlessly tied, because you're like, why are they showing me this?
Yeah, that was cool.
That was very clever writing.
He was a cool character too, and I didn't want to like, even though he's kind of a dirtbag, I didn't want him to fall upon hard times. I cared.
Yeah.
So that says something for his performance in the writing.
Sure.
And then I'm trying to think if I did much of anything else. Set up the diorama room, mostly, to a workable level.
Mostly.
And set up the details in the library and in the office, and put my quarter scale in effect. Had my birthday party. Had almost everybody that's really, really close to me in one room at one time. And I was missing one person, and had that person been there, it would have pretty much checked every box on the way down, and that is crazy. That is crazy. That was a great moment for me.
That was a fun time. It was a really good time.
Chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. The pizza was fucking
dude,
ridiculous. Like, it's not always that
I
good.
ate a stupid amount of that pizza. You know what? It's funny. I've been to the Francis Scott Key Mall many times, and I've always seen that pizza, but I've never eaten it.
Oh, was it Rose's?
Yeah,
and it's fucking great.
So it's usually that good reheated at Rose's.
Okay.
But getting it fresh, it's rarely that good.
Really?
That was fucking good.
That was good. I ate way too much of that pizza.
And New Year's party at your place, Jaina, as soon as I walked in the room and got a glass, or a cup, rather, Jaina was like, "Now, Daddy, remember what happened last time?"
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Was it last year? Was it a Christmas party though? Last
Yeah, it was
year?
a Christmas party.
It was a Christmas party.
Okay. Because I know we did it in the winter time.
Yeah, because it was like the first snow, and we
Yeah,
freaked
yeah.
out because we're like, damn, nobody's gonna come.
Yeah.
We ordered all this food.
We were good. Did you guys get the refund from the Olive Garden?
Yeah.
That's fucked up how they weren't answering, Kelly's phone, and the first time I called, fucking answered.
So just to give a little backstory here, we had Olive Garden catered, which they offer delivery,
Ketchup
and
sauce.
set up. What?
They offer ketchup sauce
Ketchup sauce.
as much as you want.
Oh, sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be there at 6. I believe we got there at 7:30, and about half of it was missing. So, as Adam mentioned, my wife had called a couple times, and they didn't answer the phone. Called from his phone, they answered. Lo and behold, we got all our money back and a gift card.
Nice. How much is the gift card?
$45.
Not enough.
What an odd amount.
Not enough.
Well, that one actually came with the order. So what happened?
Okay.
So what happened is
that makes more sense.
they had 4 delivery drivers, and they all called out. The chef brought our food.
No shit.
Yeah, and
They flew him over from Italy.
that's
Yeah.
right.
He cooked it.
He cooked it.
He just forgot his infinite bag of breadsticks.
Yes.
It's just a single bag.
It was a single
Listen,
bag.
But like Santa's bag, it has infinite volume. There's a tesseract in there.
We were short 24 breadsticks.
Oof.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it was there wasn't a scrap of food left.
No, there was nothing left. Everything got eaten. So,
But I don't know. It was kind of fine. There's tons of desserts and everything.
oh
too.
man, yeah.
You
Listen,
know.
I made myself miserable on purpose, and even more miserable with the leftovers the next day on the desserts.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was also chill.
Yeah.
It was good, and that's really it for me. Back to work.
How many days off do you have?
My last day was the 21st, I think.
Oh, wow.
Wow, you had a long
Yeah.
time off.
So,
yeah.
20, so 10 days.
Nice.
Oh, 11.
Chris, how about you?
So the first thing I've learned from being on the show is I need to take better notes.
Yeah, I know.
Because going like this morning trying to remember everything I've...
Oh, real quick, while you're looking it up, I also watched this amazing fucking documentary on Netflix. Most of the time...
Was it about Netflix documentaries?
No, but there should be one.
Right.
How to find a good one.
Right.
You watch a bad one and the good one is cute at the end of it.
Yeah, all I do, I feel like, is watch bad documentaries on Netflix. But so when I stumble upon a good one, I want to let the world know. It's called Struggle. It's fucking amazing. It's about Sexytology, this famous Polish sculptor, arguably the greatest sculptor of the 20th century. Was at first like kind of a Polish nationalist of some sort. I'm serious, real talk. And then, blamed the Jews for a lot of problems and so on and so forth.
That's why I was smirking.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I
was like, oh, this is going to go someplace interesting.
Now, he was also anti-communist. And
yeah,
but
most Nazis are.
Yeah, and anti-fascism. Like like
I'm not saying this guy's a Nazi. I'm just
I don't think he was. I just think that some of the mentality of the time in that part of the world,
it was in the zeitgeist.
Made it easier for some people to wrongfully look the other way.
I can see that.
I say that to say this. He was there when Poland was invaded.
Mm-hmm.
He fled, got out. He had an American wife, so they came back to America. Pretty much lost his entire body of work because it was all in Poland. Like a few pieces have been recovered, but the bulk of his work gone forever.
Wow.
And then ended up becoming like a very like humanist type of person after living through that event. But it's an outstanding documentary. He befriended some guy locally, and the guy like just was like, "Would you mind if I just film you?"
Oh, okay.
And he was like, "Sure." And this guy filmed this dude for like a decade, just talking. And they put together this documentary. It's called "Struggle: The Sexytology." I'm probably fucking the name up. Story. If you just put in "sculpt," it'll come up. But it's top shelf. Very interesting.
Wow.
Did he not do much work when he came to America?
So he continued doing some stuff, finished a few things, designed a lot more that never got used because he was like the go-to guy. He was like a Polish, like the pride of Poland. Like they were like the greatest sculptor is alive and lives in our country. So like they had him doing monuments for Poland, everything else. Like he was doing this huge sculpture he was working on of the first king of Poland, who was some fucking hotshot. And what the fuck do I know
Those
about
first kings are always hot shot.
And but he he fought a bear and bit its head off or something. You know what I mean? Normal myth legend shit. He arm wrestled an octopus, beat all 8 arms. He was working on some giant sculpture of that dude, and when the attack happened, he went into his studio to hide. And the fucking sculpture fell on him, hid him, but also like pinned him there for like 3 or 4 days.
Jeez.
Yeah, like so that was when he was doing most of his impressive work because that's when he was considered to be such a fucking amazing, god amongst us.
Yeah.
So he was being commissioned for everything. Later on, the French commissioned him, or someone commissioned him to do a gift for the French after the French gave us the Statue of Liberty, and they commissioned him to do like a monument that was going to sit in France. And he built, the thing that he designed for this thing is fucking wicked as fuck, but it's like 2 stories tall. And it's like these 3 serpents that are like coiled up and striking at this French woman, Mariana. And there's a rooster like fending off the 3 snakes from her. And this thing would have been, it would have been awesome. But like, I'm absolutely fucking positive when he like presented it, like, that they were like, we were hoping for like a pear or something.
Can you do a basket of fruit?
But yeah, high recommend for me.
Okay.
Proceed.
Very nice.
So New Year's Eve party was a blast. Had a diverse group of people there. I think everybody had a good time. A couple different things going on. Played some silly games. They played Cards Against Humanity in the basement.
How'd that go?
Farts. A lot of farts, a lot of wieners.
There was a lot of laughter. I didn't
few
play.
Hitler jokes. Yeah.
Jason Lowry has it's called the Big Black Box. It is yay big. And he's got, I think, almost every upgrade set for it. So
I've never played that game.
it's fun. There's no winner, though. Right, Bobby?
That's true. There is no winner.
Spent a lot of time cleaning up for the party. It's funny, I went downstairs this morning and I didn't recognize the basement because I could walk straight through because I just always have so much shit going on.
Boxes and...
Yeah. That was a good time. Told the food story. That was. I know my wife was frustrated by that. Dioramas worked on a lot of different stuff. I did my first 6-scale piece. Just finished that. It weighs 4 pounds before shipping.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
And the one that what's her face was in, like the desert.
Gin or
looking-
so deal. Yeah. I had to make myself stop painting it because.
It did really good.
Thank you. It's a little darker than it probably should be, but I think it'll match well with. The guy wants probably some more pieces from me.
I wonder if he's going to put it on a turntable. Wherever
He is a DJ.
pushing it.
Yeah. He has 2 turntables and a microphone.
So he needs at least one.
He's
more.
actually a photographer.
Okay.
He's got a pretty
Of
decent,
DJs.
Yeah. Right. He only takes pictures of DJs. So he's going to put this diorama on there. I don't know where this is going. Anyways, the cool thing about that piece, if you look at it, there's a bunch of different angles you can take pictures from. There's 2 doors in the hallway. And it's open on the top.
Yes, that is cool.
And it's actually, I made that in 12th scale, and he wanted it in 6th scale. So I just looked at my other pictures, and
Recreate.
it's all made out of scraps, too, is the other cool thing.
Yeah, that's very cool.
That's awesome.
Finished up that rooftop. That's actually boxed and ready to ship as soon as I get paid.
That's an amazing build.
Yeah. The cool thing about that one is now I have the program, so if somebody else will. I'm actually going to put that on eBay, pictures of it. Just,
Reproduce.
Yeah.
So would you do like made to order type of thing?
What do you mean?
Like you're not going to build another one until somebody orders it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That's a good model.
The space hallway is completely finished. It's clear coated and everything.
That looks really sharp too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I've got to.
Now when I saw it, you had some lights on the outside. You did not put them in. I don't think they were in yet.
So those lights is every other one is in those little jars with the slime.
Okay.
on.
Okay.
And they lit up, but not a huge amount of light.
Okay.
And actually, if you use like that slime, I don't even think you need lights because they're so bright and it's so dark.
Yeah.
It's a hard diorama to display. That's all I could think about.
I just make them.
No, I know. No. I get it.
Yeah.
I just, for the sake of conversation.
I mean,
It is. I mean, it's 40 inches long.
what is it for?
It's for actually it's for 3 3/4 Star Wars.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
Yeah.
It's just such an odd request.
Yeah, but if he's got like an idea of a really cool scene.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So there's a book. It's a Star Wars book. I think it's called Zombie Troopers.
I'm familiar.
It came out around the time that The Walking Dead was the hottest thing on Earth. It's actually a pretty interesting story. And the picture that it's based on is the back cover of that book.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. So
It just seems like you could cut it in half.
Well,
you know what I mean, and make 2.
well, the cool thing about it. The cool thing about it is you can do that because it does split in half.
Oh, okay.
So it's made in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 pieces.
Modular.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, and you can actually stack.
That
some
makes a
of
little
them.
bit more sense.
Sure. I mean, I don't know
For the sake of keeping it in your home.
Oh,
you know?
sure. Yeah, it all breaks down. I try to make a lot of my stuff modular, but like that big 6 scale, there's really no way to do that particular one.
Yeah.
So, and that rooftop's one piece too, but it fits in a D12, so it's
That seems like
it's
an easy
manageable.
2-piecer. It always amazes me, these little decisions.
Yeah. Well, when I was cutting it out and programmed it, I said I can do this side in one piece, so I did, and that's why. So it's interesting. I've done 3 different scales of dioramas in the past month. I've done 18th scale, 6th scale, and 12th scale. And I found a calculator online, so I can always plug in my scale, and then I get my measurements, which helps out a lot.
I wonder if you can preset your thing for the scale on the program. You know what I mean?
Oh, just reduce everything down.
Yeah.
Somebody want that's. I probably could. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just had to figure out the calculation.
So if they
I'm
want
very good at calculation.
Yeah.
Where's Joe?
It's funny.
I watched some cool stuff this past week. Bird Box. I know everybody's been talking.
Saw it.
Did you
Saw
watch
it?
it?
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched it yet, Bobby?
No.
He's already made his decision that he's not going to watch it.
No, I really don't like her. Like, I would just really have nothing else to have to watch to, like, sit down and watch that. Like, I really do not care for
Now
her.
come the excuses.
I mean,
He hasn't watched John Wick yet either. So
or Miss Congeniality.
Oh, that's a classic.
So
the second one.
They're both good.
That's where
Which one's William Shatner's in it? Is it the second one?
The second one.
Yeah,
that's
okay,
where
that one is better.
I really get my rocks off. I don't know if it's the second one, but I'm sure someone will correct it.
yeah, I just find her challenging to look at.
Really? You don't think she's attractive? Never have?
And it's funny because she's one of the people that my wife is compared to sometimes. Which
I don't see that.
nor I.
I don't
But
see that.
it's common.
Really?
And I'm always disgusted by that. Now, my wife every now and then is compared to 80s Christy Alley, and I do see that. And that I'm actually into.
I don't know about that one either. 80s Kirstie Alley.
I think it's just the dark hair. You know?
80s Kirstie Alley always appeared to be drunk to me.
The eyes.
She probably was.
Yeah.
The eyes for her.
Yeah, it is the eyes. I see it on the eyes.
Yep.
Oh, I was talking about Sandra Bullock. Right, like dark.
Oh.
Someone recently said.
What do you think of Bird Box?
I don't watch a lot of thrillers.
Yeah.
I really don't. And honestly, it was just one of those things where we popped on Netflix to watch something else, and I said to my wife, I said, "This is a lot of people talking about this." She's like, "Well, watch the trailer," and we watched the trailer. She's like, "Okay, let's watch it." So we just jumped right into it.
We watched it based off your recommendation.
I heard it was written by people who had only ever been in timeout as a punishment growing up. That's what I heard.
I don't.
No. There's no punchline.
There's a lot of memes about this show.
My kids might write the fucking sequel.
They might.
I thought, it actually it had a theatrical debut for like a week.
Just to get into Ward's pocket. Is that why?
I don't know what the deal was.
Interesting.
No, you're going to see that a lot. If Netflix wants any of their stuff taken seriously, you have to have a theatrical release.
That's actually pretty smart.
So
Okay.
That's worth looking
even
into,
if it's
actually.
And she did an awesome job. She did a really good job in that film.
Yeah, she's intense in that. You know,
That meme with her as Donatello is fucking awesome.
There's so many memes.
There's
That's
so many
funny.
memes.
But like I thought it was very clever. I'm not super thrilled about the ending. It's fine. You know what I mean? Like it is what it is. But I thought it was there's a bit there before the rapids that you're like it kind of gets you. You're like, fuck.
I think as a parent, a lot of it is.
Yeah. Joe would never understand.
It's apparent that what?
What?
As a parent.
As a parent.
As a parent, as what?
Oh my god. So, I was spoiled by part of the movie, which wasn't a really big spoiler, but
What part was that?
in absence. Well, you never.
Just 'cause me.
It's the absence of.
Yeah. The
someone
visuals.
told me that.
Yeah.
Which I thought was fine.
I did too.
Save the CGI money. We don't need it. You know?
Absence of
Yeah.
Raphael Donatello, Michael.
Dude, that
don't
Donatello bit and that how it should have ended fucking
still gotta watch that. I need to watch
Avengers Endgame thing. Like, you Thanos, you monster. Dude, it's so funny, man. You don't realize how important those four always be together.
Yeah.
Dude, here's a good conversation. What do you think would be the most interesting story if one of the turtles dies? And how
Didn't they do that recently?
They killed Donatello.
They killed
they?
one of them,
Yeah.
but it didn't have any lasting effects. I don't
No.
remember what it was.
I'm sure they brought him back somehow.
Oh,
But yeah,
really?
They killed a turtle in the
I think it
comics.
was a year or two
I didn't know
ago.
they had comics.
Yeah, IDW.
IDW carries it now.
Huh.
Yeah, I think that Batman book it's actually
Yeah, it's-
technically published by IDW.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
really?
I've never read that. So Bird Box was good. I enjoyed that.
That was pretty good. It's pretty good.
I was going through looking at just the amount of stuff Netflix puts out is ridiculous. I mean, it is insane.
Have your kids watched the series of Unfortunate Events?
Mason's watching it.
Yeah.
Because he read the books. The older two can't. The younger two can't be bothered.
Oh, really?
Oh,
my kids are obsessed with it. I'll have to watch it tonight.
I will tell you something cool that happened when your kids were over. We have a closet in the basement. It's full of children's books, and your oldest, I think grabbed a couple, but there's a ton.
I wouldn't be surprised.
There's a ton of reading material if either any of your children ever want books to read.
That kid is probably. I would not be surprised. Well, maybe that's not true. I wouldn't be surprised if she's read more books this far at the age of, she's not even 12 yet, than I have in my whole life.
Yeah.
It's fucking
gobbles
stupid.
them up.
She gobbles them up. Hold on.
Books.
What?
Books.
She's
Books.
Calm down.
she's a trip, man.
Yeah.
She's straight laced that one. I like fucking with her. Whenever she's over here and she starts acting up, I'm like, look, if I gotta say something, I'm gonna make you untuck your shirt on a Thursday.
So I have a buddy, Mark. He has a very funny story about my daughter. Now she had to be like maybe 4 or 5 at this point in time. It's when I was living in PA, and we were running a small business and traveling a lot, doing a lot of shows, and like my home became a kind of revolving door of people. Like there's somebody would come like stay with us for a week, and then they would leave, and then like the next day somebody else would come and stay for a couple of days. And that's the environment we grew up with.
Did you invent Airbnb?
No, like they would come for a project. And one time a buddy of mine, Mark, came in and he used to do some like film editing and recording and stuff and filming for us. And he walked inside, like the door was unlocked, I was downstairs working on something, and like my oldest walked up and she looked at him and just gave him this like kind of like crazy look. He's like, dude, the only way I can explain it is like it's what your buddy's wife looks at you like when she's disgusted that you're, wasting his time. You know what I mean? And she just looked at him like, does my dad know you're here? And he's like, yeah, he's expecting me. He's like, all right, well, he's downstairs working, and just like kind of sent him on his way. He just came up and was like, dude, your kids are just wild with shit like that. But yeah, she's like 12 going on 40. I think she's older than me, Hey, who wants to get ice cream? Ice cream. And the younger two are like, yeah. Father, that's not a very healthy choice. That's just empty calories.
It's a mess.
It's empty calories. And you know what? You and Mom, you're talking about, kind of getting back on budget. And I just don't think that would be a very, fiscal responsible thing to do. And the other kids are like, you suck. We never get ice cream because of you. And I'm like, I guess, all right, we needed everybody to say yes when I get ice cream. No.
Oh, jeez.
Oof. You're going to give her a sock party.
No, she don't care. She'll take it. She does the right thing.
I'm still watching The Last Kingdom, Netflix series. We're through middle of the second season now.
So when you talked about that last time, I was thinking of The Outlaw King with Chris Pine.
So that's a good movie. I have watched that.
Okay.
It's just, it's a movie. This is a series.
Yeah, Netflix is kind of fucking me up with that now that they're doing both movies and series. It's confusing. I'm not prepared.
Yeah, so we're enjoying that. That's actually, we were logging on to watch that when we stumbled on the Bird.
Or Burn Bob. Burn Bob is also a Netflix movie.
It's a documentary about December 22nd.
Gonorrhea.
Started watching Atlanta. It's a FX show that's got Donald Glover in it.
Oh, yeah.
You might know him as Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
Or Childish Gambino.
That's right. And it's not what I thought it was. For some reason I had in my head it was set in the 90s, but it's not. It's like modern day.
Yeah.
And his cousin is basically an internet rapper that has a hit song that they get on the radio, and it's just the trials and tribulations. But it's odd. Like there was an episode the other day where it was almost just like a TV show about a TV show, and then they had made fake commercials but about real products.
Huh. I want to see it. I've heard good things about it.
Yeah,
apparently like Bigfoot is in the episode for no reason.
I don't know. They had.
It's a rapper.
Is it? It might have been. I don't know. They had.
I'm talking about the giant monkey in the woods.
Oh.
the Migos are in it
Oh yeah,
as the Migos, and they're
Good for them.
They're drug dealers. Yeah,
I feel like you would be easy to spot in those clothes.
and they shot a guy in the woods.
We got
We got one on foot. He's wearing a blouse
He's got on a silk shirt
and a
and
pair of black plaid trousers.
he's got on socks like Michael Jackson used to wear.
in high heel platform boots.
I think they may stop at that. Anyways, Atlanta, it's a good show. I think they've got 2 whole seasons out. They're both on Hulu now.
It's an FX show, right?
FX or FXX, yeah. It's a little
It's
crass.
too many X's. Yeah.
It's a little crass. I wouldn't watch it with the kids around.
Yeah, what were we watching the other day? That was on FX, and we were kind of shocked by. Fuck. Oh, okay. I'll wait for my nerd week. I know what it is now.
Okay. And the last thing I've watched is a show, and it's funny because I've started my diet. I'm in a weight loss competition, but the prize is $1,400. So it's a little bit of motivation.
Can we still buy into that?
No, too late. Sorry. I found the show. There's apparently a network called Viceland. Are you guys familiar with this?
Yeah, it's like Vice's channel. Is that Vice's?
I
Yeah.
I don't know. So I watched a couple
Action
shows.
Bronson has that fucking
That's
cooking
it.
show.
It's called Fuck That's Delicious. So it's Action Bronson, who's this rapper.
I don't
from-
know who that is.
He's a rapper
He
from.
sounds just like Ghostface. It's
really?
almost disgusting.
Yeah.
That's
Dude,
my
calm down, man.
That's my
Maybe
problem.
he can't help the way his voice sounds.
Maybe it doesn't sound like that when he talks, though. Do you know what I mean? My problem with him is that I don't know why you would ever sit down to listen to him when you could just listen to Ghostface.
He probably also likes Sandra Bullock, so
Maybe.
yeah.
It's possible. Anything's possible.
I think it may be the content because he's not rapping about the same thing as Ghostface,
Possibly.
and he puts out.
But what the fuck is Ghostface even rapping about? It's like you can just say it's about that. It's like,
Dude.
the fish scales on the lobster toes. I'm like, what?
What was Ghostface on here recently? He was on. Oh, he was in Luke Cage, right?
Ghost? I don't know.
Wasn't he?
I don't know. Maybe.
I think he was. I think he was in the club scene at the very end when they're having the party.
Could have been.
Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Rapping.
Yeah.
So,
About lobster tails.
About lobster
so
tails and
this-
fish scales.
Yeah.
So this show it's him and these other rappers that I've never heard of. Alchemist is the only other person I've heard of that's on there, and they
Raps paprika.
yeah. Well, it's funny because he seems so uninterested in being like he never smiles. He never said a word. And then there was an episode when they were in Miami and they were riding jet skis, and he was like, it was like his heaven. He was smiling and laughing and
Really?
it's like I didn't know Alchemist could smile.
Or have fun.
Yeah, but I mean, they're on tour, and basically, I think it's like, hey, we're going to be on tour. We're going to these different cities. Let's make some more money and do this show. It's a pretty clever idea.
Yeah.
You know, you think about like if you're a performer or if you're an athlete. You know, I even you guys know I'm a wrestling fan. They're in a different
Wrestling?
No, it's wrestling. Thank you. I can show you some wrestling if you like.
You know, Nori has an eating show. It's a cooking show
Really?
also because it's on the run eating.
Yeah. But just, it would be, I think, challenging going to these places and trying to find a decent meal. I mean, a lot of these, especially if you're trying to keep your shape or whatever, you go to Chipotle and get, chicken and rice or whatever because it's going to be the same pretty much everywhere. But on the other side of that, I think it would be cool, especially now with the internet. You could tweet out, hey, I'm going to be in San Paulo next Wednesday. Tell me what I need to eat, go to this taco truck or just whatever. I just think it would be an interesting life to lead.
Did you? It's kind of the wrestling question for you. In all seriousness, did you ever wrestle like in high school? Like
No.
Too big?
We didn't have wrestling in high school.
really?
No, we had something called goat roping. You wrestled a goat after you.
Dude, my boss talks about goat roping. I shit you not, all the time.
Really?
It is his go-to analogy for anything you have to do.
Well, I'll
so
tell you-
you got this guy, and did you teach him how to goat rope? Step 1, find a goat. Step 2, get a rope. Did you go over that with him? Does he know how to go rope? like this, I hear go roping literally every day.
Well, when I was in high school, we called goat roping going and cruising a strip in the town next.
I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about because I've never seen a goat and I've never seen him rope with this guy, but he's always talking about goat roping.
Oh, you know what to get him for Christmas.
So far away now.
Yeah, it is.
So far.
And I think that's it.
Real quick, let me interject. Another thing I remember, I watched Solo again.
Okay.
I started watching it. I just didn't get through it.
I finally enjoyed it. Like really
Oh,
enjoyed
really?
it.
Good.
Yeah. I think it just took me a while to come to terms with what it was. I still feel the same way about it, but now I can watch it without any sort of disdain or criticism, really. So yeah, I will say this though. Part of it for me was two things making sense of. The comics changed as the comics seem to be retconning everything. That Solo in that universe is like dough. So it's not like he chose Solo out of the blue, like just nailed it with like a cool name for being alone. It's just like instead of Han Doe, it's Han Solo. So that makes that pill easier to swallow for me. And then
Or like DOE.
correct.
Okay. At first I was like talking about like kneading dough.
That's
like
what I mean,
OUGH
but it's-
in there.
Maybe there's a little bit of this, little credits.
Same
you know what I
thing,
mean? Little
same-
credits in the
same
pocket.
thing.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And then the other thing is,
Like a deer.
A female,
Female deer.
to me, like,
Ray.
dude, well done. To me, Star Wars, I think, is a lot like music, and I think that the saga films kind of feel like a score to me. I think Rogue One feels like heavy metal to me, and Solo is the elevator music of the Star Wars universe.
It's a lo-fi hip hop I like.
But if you get in the elevator and you're going to something else that's better than being in the elevator, it's not offensive to listen to a little elevator music on the way up, and that's how I view Solo.
It's so
Fair enough.
popular. It got its own class of music.
Yeah. My and my wife, like when they sit down at because we were watching it while we were cleaning the room, and I cleaned like my section like in 20 minutes, so I watched like the last hour of it or whatever. And when they sat down together, like at the Falcon for the first time, like that's a big Star Wars moment for me. And like my wife got like a little emotional, which was nice because like it's a part of the house and everything. So
Had she seen it before?
Mm-hmm. She saw it in the theater.
I couldn't remember.
Yeah, and she liked it more than I did in the movies as well. But
I haven't. Kelly won't watch it. I don't know why. She said she didn't want to watch it.
interesting. All right, sorry.
Oh, I'm fine. Third week. So I watched Bird Box as well. I also on Netflix, and I think it's an FXX show. I started watching a show called Happy. And
Yeah.
Christopher Mullion. He's from
Oz.
yes, he's the
SVU.
colonel in he's from SVU. He's the colonel in Man of Steel. Like a good death is his own reward. That guy, the human colonel.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Who's
Italian
he in
guy.
Oz?
I have no idea. A white guy who's Italian. Anyway, so he's a cop in this, and he's all fucked up. He's doing drugs, but basically there's like this fucking purple imaginary unicorn, like flying unicorn, Pegasus unicorn. It's like a cartoon animated thing that only he can see, and you kind of find out like there's these beings that we don't really see that are there, and somehow he was like on death's door and can see it, and like there's a little girl that got kidnapped, and like he's basically it's like kind of a drop dead Fred thing, but it's really raunchy. It's really like the first scene is him like blowing his brains out and like dancing like this, and there's blood like there's no top of his head. There's just blood gushing out of his
Is
head.
it really funny?
It's fucking funny as hell, but it's shot phenomenally. It's really cool. And then Netflix shit the bed on me, so I couldn't finish it. But I want to get back into it. I was enjoying it, but it was like I was shocked. Like this can be on cable, like.
Yeah, FXX gets pretty.
I mean, they're saying
raunchy, so-
fuck and like and everything else. So maybe it's just one fuck per episode. I don't know.
I don't know if they bleep some of that out and just let it roll on Netflix. 'Cause
I think they
know,
do.
Like
I think they
South
do.
Park is unedited on Hulu, but I know they bleep stuff out.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
Comedy
yeah,
Central.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just using that as an example.
But I think South Park. I think there's a certain time like midnight and 2, they can.
yeah, they can let go.
Yeah, I think so. So I saw that series of unfortunate events is back. Voltron, the final season of Voltron is out, which is real slow going. Like it's going to be good. I don't have any issue with it. Series of unfortunate events is fine. I mean, it's my kids all like it's just kind of a family type thing. Let me think. What else? I think that might be it. Just getting back from the holidays, man. Getting back to work. I've been fucking slammed. This is a very busy time for us here recently for some recent events. And Chris came over, old dumbass Chris came over yesterday, organized some stuff in the basement, helped me like go through some stuff, which is cool.
Yeah,
He
it's
needed
very
some
cool.
help with that, so that was cool. And we had the party. Both parties were good. I just feel like I've been going 100 miles per hour. I don't, that everything else is kind of a blur. Still fucking up some Castlevania though, son.
I see it in my fucking YouTube.
Oh, Castlevania.
I can always tell what you're watching
Yeah,
because
yeah.
like it starts showing up as suggested for me.
Yeah.
So like I'm clicking on like the new Meek Mill video, and it's like you might also enjoy Castlevania Round 7 walkthrough. Jordan Peterson destroys feminists. Like, what?
Actually, I'm listening to an episode of Jordan Peterson now on the Femsplain podcast with two feminists, but it's actually very positive.
No, I'm just saying.
It's really, it's. I mean, I was listening on the way over here.
I'm excited about something your boy is doing here soon.
Who's that?
Joe Rogan.
What's he doing? Oh, with Kanye? Yeah. I've been checking every day.
He's doing a sit down with Kanye.
I thought he already did it.
Oh, maybe he has.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just know it's coming. Like
Yeah.
the
Well,
release of it is
See,
coming.
this is interesting to me because Joe usually posts stuff. He does stuff live,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes up on podcasts like that, like the same as we do for Patreon folks.
Mm-hmm.
Every once in a while, he'll record, like a bunch of episodes back to back, so he won't release them right away. But they're usually whatever. But Kanye, I think he tweeted out that he already did the recording. I thought, but I might have misread it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm really interested in listening to it as well.
Dude, and I'm only really interested. Ironically, I'm only really interested in listening to it to see how Joe handles him.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm wondering if it's one-on-one or if he's got one of his handlers in there with him.
Kanye usually will come in one on,
Yeah,
like
I don't
Who's he
think.
signed to nowadays? Is he still signed to Rockefeller through Def Jam?
I think it's still no. I would guess
He
that
didn't
would
have
have
his
to be-
own.
Well, he's got
record label?
good music, but you know how that is. Those guys, they create a label. They can't. They're not signed to their own label.
I would think it has to be through Def Jam via Rock Nation management.
Yeah.
But I will find out. He's just you just never know what Kanye is walking into that room. You never know. And like in Joe
calls.
I'm not the biggest Joe Rogan fan. Only not because I'm not a fan of him, just because I'm usually just not a fan of who he has on or want to spend 3 hours of my life in that conversation. But he can handle the fuck out of an interview. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
So like if I were to see Kanye sit down with anyone, he might be my first choice.
And Joe, no bullshit, man. Like he will, like no, you're talking like a crazy person right now. What he just says is bullshit. Like there's been some times, like especially when there's like three people talking, like there's two people kind of debating on him. He'll be like, no, that's not what he just said. You just said X, Y, Z. And he's saying ABC. Answer the question to ABC. And they'll go about it. No. You're not answering ABC. Stop with X, Y, Z. Let's go back to the ABC. And sometimes it gets uncomfortable because he doesn't hold his punches with it.
Oh my God.
Is it already up?
No, but he put out that motherfucker's on some shit, man.
Kanye?
Yes. He put out an album this year.
Yep.
And it's not on iTunes anymore. Like, and it wasn't well received.
Oh, he just took it off?
That's my guess.
Huh. Let me check another platform.
The last album I'm seeing is on Def Jam, but that was Yeezus. Which is a fucking awesome album, by the way.
I hear you, man. It's just the name.
That's fucking bananas. That dude is out of his goddamn mind.
What was the name of the album that he didn't? That you can't find?
I think it was
anymore?
called Yay.
Here it is, right here on Amazon streaming.
Does it have credits or anything?
Hang on, let me see.
Not that people probably care.
2018, Getting Out of Our Dreams 2 LLC, distributed by Def Jam, a division of UMG Recordings.
Yeah, that seems to be the general.
I can't.
Yeah,
I
so
think
good.
I heard
Yeah.
Yikes off of it. Was the only. I didn't listen to the whole
And guess who owns Def Jam?
Universal. Yeah, UMG. Yeah.
They fucking own everything, man.
Universal does?
Music in the music.
Oh,
world.
really?
Yeah.
They own the Spooky Tooth record.
Really?
I heard from them very soon.
Oh, really?
Within 45 minutes.
Oh, that sucks. On iTunes?
YouTube.
Oh, iTunes is okay.
So far. If you don't scream, I won't holler. You know what I'm saying?
That's funny.
Yeah.
I wonder. You know what? They gotta get off this sample shit here soon. It needs to be, you know.
Like I think there's a fine line. I'd love to have that conversation. And I know that's not necessarily what you're asking for, but I think there's a fine line. Like I think the way that I use
I think
that
this
sample.
is an interesting conversation.
I think the way that I use that sample, and I've used other samples in the past.
It's creative in its own right.
Correct.
Yeah.
And it's turning elements of a song into an instrument.
Yes.
But
and also it might be putting people onto that song.
100%. But because I've bought many songs because I found out who the sample was. At the same time, though,
Most of the time, to resample.
At the same time, though, yeah. At the same time, like if it's just a loop, I get it.
No, I do. I
Okay.
think there needs to be some fair play in there as well, though. You know,
Because like when you loop up, like when they looped up, "Been Around the World," or not "Been Around the World." That was how they sung on the fucking. They stole the hook too. With "Let's Dance," and it's just a loop, and it's yeah. That's just you just looped. You just took the record and looped it, and then you added some drums and shit and all that shit. And that you definitely added to it. There's no doubt about it. But I feel like that is different than using sequences of a sample to create a different texture.
maybe you should go to Congress.
Yeah.
I did have. Speaking on that, you'll have to forgive me the name of it, but it was.
You sound really muffled.
Yeah.
I am, and maybe I'm.
You're the wrong way. You got to get right here in the corner.
Is it right here in the corner?
Yeah. Try it again.
Now it's facing away from me.
I know, but sometimes it sounds better. You still sound distant.
Is that it? I don't know. Check.
I don't know what happened.
Microphone. I don't know.
Which one are you? You're this one?
Here, take this one and swap that one out just because that one's acting funny right at the moment. No.
I'm glad it wasn't just me.
Is that better?
Yeah, but search around it a little bit.
Is that
There it is.
right there?
Can you hear the difference?
I can definitely hear the difference.
Okay, there you go.
It's right here on the blue line.
There you go.
So the road trip we took where I tortured you with West Coast hip hop.
Yes.
You played a song, I believe it was because it's something to do with the Masquerade. It was.
Oh yeah, I can't believe the Masquerade is over.
So I was watching Atlanta, and I had the subtitles on just because there was a lot going on, and they played that song.
Yeah, that song.
Like it was like in a restaurant. It was playing in the background.
That song has been used for countless samples.
Mm-hmm.
"Duel of the Iron Mike" by Genius is from that song.
Who Shot Ya?
Who Shot Ya from Biggie is from that song.
How's it go?
It goes three or four different ways. Like the song's like 8 minutes long, so it changes throughout. And so many rappers have used so many. But Who Shot Ya? Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum.
Yeah.
"Ill Bomb" by LL Cool J is from there. It's just been picked over like a James Brown drum sample.
Yeah.
Like it's just it's just crazy. But yeah, no, I agree that I think that there is a way to sample something and make it new.
You know what?
I don't think that's the same thing as looping something.
You know what sucks about music right now is that you couldn't do a music podcast where you like listen to samples, you talked about it, you brought up multiple samples, and then they do this just to educate, like a music educated podcast that I would actually be interested in listening to, but you couldn't do it because you get fucking sued.
Except we do it on Patreon for those out there listening. If you'd like to listen to more,
Yeah, but that's not that's not the same thing.
no.
Dude, I might have to sit here and really talk to you guys about Patreon
Really?
because Patreon is doing some fucked up shit, deplatforming people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and like, I know you don't want to get in a philosophical conversation about this, but like,
Well, it depends on what the.
at like what level? Basically, what's happening is, let's say people don't like Bobby Skullface, right? They don't like your jokes. They don't like how you roundhouse kick girls in the face, right? So they go to MasterCard and basically say, we don't want you accepting any credit cards and paying Patreon because of Bobby Skullface round kicking people in the face. To where credit card companies and banks now are going to, fucking cut you out because of an idea you have or and not even something violent. Like that's going on right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably. I mean, this conversation is one thing, but what we should do with it is probably a conversation we should have off air. But
no, I agree.
yeah. But I think that like there's a lot going on with that in YouTube as well, right?
Yes,
but
I mean, that's the reason I don't fuck around with YouTube anymore.
But I don't think that I on YouTube or us on Patreon create the type of content that's going to be problematic. But if it does,
yeah, I know, and it's not. But it's not that. It's like it comes down to me. It's like, do I want to be? I got off of YouTube coming on, I guess 3 years now. Be 3 years, because when I first got onto YouTube, it was you had to work to get partnership. You know, and monetization was good. There was a lot of work and everything. And then I want to say between 2015 and 2016, it took a 66% cut in pay. Between 2016 and 14 to 15 and 15 to 16, took another 66% cut in pay. Yeah. So it got to the point where I could no longer afford to do it with the time and energy and like
in payroll.
In payroll, I had like 8 people working for me, you know. So it just got to a point where it just wasn't financially viable, and stuff started getting demonetized. And I'm talking about stuff like I would have a conversation video and about like things that were going on in the world, and nothing was hateful. Like
right.
Didn't cuss. It was all positive. You know, it was all about education and whatever. And shit started getting flagged and demonetized for shit. It was fucking bad. And then to top it all off, like I had bought music to sample for intros and outros, paid for it, had all the stuff, like, you know, gave it to YouTube and they were all good to go. Well, then somebody else bought out the rights to that and demonetized all those videos too. I'm like, motherfucker, man.
Wow.
Yeah, there's a really poor communication on YouTube.
You can't get anybody.
Yeah,
at YouTube.
it's impossible.
No, and it's designed that way.
I mean, like, obviously it's a heinous act. I'm not,
yeah.
But I'm saying, like, when that shit happened at YouTube, it's ridiculous, and it's not the way to handle things, and it's disgusting, et cetera, et cetera. 100% agree, but it wasn't surprising to me.
Yeah, but there's some nuance there in regards to who's being silenced and who's not being silenced. I think it's a slippery slope, and the same thing with Patreon. So Patreon, the big stink now is some dude. I don't want to get into the details, but basically, he wasn't on his platform. He wasn't on YouTube. He was doing a podcast with somebody else, and he contextually like used a word, but he used it in context. Like, you know, like if we were to say like, you know, Dave Chappelle uses the term jokers a lot in his stand-up, right? Like literally, like something like that. And he used the actual word. And not on the platform, not on YouTube, not on his podcast, not on his stuff that's published. So him saying that was not published, but they found out that he published it, that it was used on something else that was unrelated to them, and they took down his shit.
Was that the word?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was just like...
It's using context. You know what I mean?
I understand. But I don't think... So if we get into the discussion of, like, do you want to be affiliated with a program and such and such, like, I'm cool to have that discussion, but let's just get the mics first. Because that's all we really need left. I'm actually enjoying... I have... I've been like recording Patreon content as like ideas or whatever opportunities have been popping up so that it doesn't have to become an obligation.
Yeah. Well,
and I have stuff like I have theoretically enough stuff to get through this month and next month. And
I'm not suggesting that we need to pull the trigger on Patreon right now and get rid of it. But like there's like I think for me personally, and this is the topic that I'm bringing up, and everybody can think about it. I think personally, there has to be a line in the sand drawn with some of this stuff. You know, like I remember when like the Exxon in Alaska, the Exxon Valdez like crashed, and everybody like wanted to boycott Exxon. Right? Remember people talking about that? And that was like the first time I understood, like, oh no, we're boycotting Exxon. Because we put the gas station right there, you know, before you go into the mall, is Exxon. And I'm like, what does that even mean? And I just remember that event in my childhood, and like, you know, we're not doing what, you know, we're not going to do that, whatever, with fucking Exxon because they fucked up. Now, right, wrong, and different about Exxon. Yeah, same thing with VP. Right. And I'm not saying that, whatever, but at a certain point, I don't think I can be complicit with a company that is making these kind of decisions and behavior that I think violate some of the First Amendment type stuff that I think is the cornerstone of our society. Like that, I think is to be able to talk and to put ideas out there, right, wrong, or different, putting your foot in your mouth. You have the right to do that. I mean, we come on this podcast and have the right to be assholes and talk shit. But at the same time, I think that we help each other. We learn about ourselves and learn about how we really think. Because sometimes when you're talking, sometimes you have to talk to understand how you feel about something.
100%.
And you're and
sometimes
you say,
hearing yourself say something is different than thinking about it.
Yeah, there is. You gotta put some power to it. You gotta say something, and then sometimes you're like, damn, that's why I was feeling that way. And some of the most amazing conversations I've had, or amazing experiences I've had, is when like I've gotten a deep conversation and somebody helped me discover how I really felt about something through that dialogue back and forth. And if I was too scared, or they were too scared to have that conversation, then there wouldn't have been any growth. So I think that behaviors that restrict that and suppress that, and we gotta really be careful about that. So
I definitely agree with that in concept. I just have one of my things for this year is and it's funny because I just heard somebody else say the same thing yesterday on a much larger platform, and I was like, motherfucker, are you in my head? Is I am going to get very comfortable with I don't know. I don't know. Like, for instance, just recently we had a conversation regarding Doom Patrol.
Okay.
And I had heard that there was some shit going on about them appearing in the Titan show, I believe.
Yeah.
So when you said they had their own show, I said, I thought they were in the Titan show.
Yeah.
And then you said, no, they got their own show. And I said, that's not what I remember hearing, but I don't know. And like just making it clear that you can talk about something and at the same time make the people that you're talking about it with understand that this is an exercise for me to see where this goes. I'm being upfront and letting you know I don't know.
Well, I think the world we live in now with literally there's no reason. I understand the I don't know, and I think from a mental capacity standpoint it is important for all of us to do that. But we have the world in our hands at all times.
It's funny that you say that. Let me circle back to your idea. In our society, who would you say the smartest people are? Who know the most?
Wikipedia.
No, I mean,
I don't know.
Maybe scientists?
Maybe.
Scientists?
I don't know.
But it depends on what you. Well, it depends.
I don't know.
Don't do that.
But I don't know.
A scientist isn't going to know the nuances of
No.
pop culture.
I'm just.
It's such a focused thing.
Okay. We're missing the point.
Okay.
But it is their job to know things about things, right?
Correct.
All right. So we agree. We know that. And basically a scientist's job is to be wrong about 90% of the shit.
Right.
So think about that. So like, if they're fucking wrong about 90% of the shit, how much you think we are?
Right. But so that's gonna be something I'm trying to get to. So when it comes to stuff like this or topical things, in order for me to really dig into it, I'm gonna have to either say I don't know and I don't care enough to find out, or I don't know, I need some time to look into it before I commit. Because there's no real need for me to commit to immediate news. So I am trying to slow down, not just in this specific avenue of my life, but generally make a conscious effort internally to slow down my reaction to everything, professionally.
Do you think you're
interpersonally
hyper to react?
Definitely, almost immediate.
Like if you don't fill that space with something,
I just go with it.
doing nothing is not as wrong as doing nothing is wrong. Is more wrong than doing the wrong thing.
Correct.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Yeah, I think it's pretty.
to tie that in,
That's a pretty big. That's pretty good. I like that.
And it's something I'm trying. You know what I mean? I'm
You're
trying
flirting
it out.
with.
Yeah, and I'm making an effort.
It's I had this really kind of profound interaction with two people that were beefing at work that I had to kind of mediate. I just want to like, it's worth sharing because it's like it's gotten to be some Hatfield and McCoy type shit. But basically, these two individuals had an interaction that kind of there's a little bit of a language barrier. One, but they had this interaction where I don't like you, you don't like me. Like for example, this is for example, Chris. If I was a state wrestling champion and you did professional wrestling, right? And you said something about professional wrestling, and I'm like, well, you know, and I felt that diminishes what I do. You know what I mean, right? And it doesn't. It's two different things.
Correct.
Yeah. But I just took the position of, dude, I fucking worked my ass off and fucking dropped weight for years to make state and fucking tore my rotator cuff out, blah, blah, and you guys get up there and do a soap opera. That's not me saying that. I didn't wrestle. I'm not wanting to get you trigger. I just want to bring it home so you associate. Okay?
But you're not wrong. But go ahead.
Okay. So these two individuals had an interaction like that, right? One, English is one of the guy's second languages. It's the other guy's third language, which is kind of important. But the guy who speaks three languages also speaks the other guy's first language. Okay, so they've had a bad interaction, and one is actually a supervisor, and the other one's not. But it doesn't matter. So the supervisor guy walks to the cafeteria. He gets his meal. There's like a meal deal. Hey, get this, get a cookie and a free soda, right? So he's like, all right, gets his cookie, gets his meal, walks out. He leaves. Gets back to his little cubicle. It's like, oh, fuck, I forgot my soda, right? Walks back, talks to the cashier, whose primary language is Spanish, which he also speaks, all right? He's like, hey, I forgot my drink. She's like, oh, yeah, you're good, all right? As he's walking away, he sees the other guy who he had an issue with, and he's like, fuck, I'm going to get out of here because I don't want to be around this guy. As they pass, the other guy saw him talking to the cashier. He asked her, what's up? She starts saying, oh, no, he just forgot his drink. He's like, oh, I don't want to know anything about it. I don't want to know anything about it, right? So the first guy saw him say that. He's like, this motherfucker thinks I stole the drink. Runs back and he's like, I want to stop this before this guy's like, he's asking about what I'm doing. He thinks I stole this drink. I didn't steal this drink. And then the other guy's like, well, why is he acting so weird? If you thought this was... So now there's this big fucking like he said, she said about literally bullshit. And I'm talking to each of them individually, like dude, every time I fucking turn around, I think he's fucking watching me, like I'm doing something wrong. I don't do anything wrong. I'm an honest guy. And this guy's like fucking looking for shit. And the other guy's like, he's always looking for shit. And he's trying to find me, do something. I'm like, and it's like the same thing. And like I had to sit these guys down. I'm like, listen, you got this drink thing that all this beef is based off is bullshit. It's bullshit. It's fucking it's a miscommunication because you guys are using different languages, right? And it just I was blown away, and like this miscommunication has caused like
I think I would have had both a soda for each when they came in. Do you know what I mean? First of all, we're even.
But it was fascinating because like literally it has caused like you can't work this shift, you can't work this shift, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't work in this building, you can't work in this building. Literally because of this misconception of like somebody assuming that
the worst,
assuming the worst, that the other person was assuming the worst.
Correct.
And it was like I was like at the end of it, I was like, dude, I could write a book about this. I could call it the soda, the non-stolen soda. You know what I mean?
The carbonated controversy.
It was ridiculous. But and the thing about it is like the crazy bit is like these guys now have harbored such ill will to each other that's their reality now. They can't get past it. He's like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. He claimed that I stole the soda. I didn't steal the soda. And the guy's like, no, hey, listen, I don't know what happened, but like he must have stole the soda. The reason he acted this way, he stole the soda now. And that wasn't even, he didn't even originally claim that, It's just it was fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
But some people need to be like, I don't know what happened. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Don't assume. Don't try to fill in the gaps. But
Yeah.
we do that. You know, we want to know what's in the bushes.
And I
what's
think
in the bushes
and
over
I
there?
think
What's rattling in the bushes?
And I think it's okay to speculate, and I even think it's okay to debate, as long as the pretenses or the conversation are known that I don't know. If I go down this road,
Yeah.
I'm doing it as an exercise.
I heard a very profound quote the other day. The goal of an argument is to convince yourself that you're right. The only goal of an argument, maybe. Yeah. There is no other goal.
But in closing, I really want to hear if Joe Rogan talk to Kanye West for a couple hours.
I do too. I think it's going to be epic. I bet you it's going to be like a 4-hour. Dude, if they get fucking high together, I don't know if Kanye smokes weed. Does he smoke weed?
You never know. You never know. You don't. See, that's the thing. You just don't
He
know.
might smoke weed that day.
Yeah, that Kanye might. You just don't know what dude is coming into that room.
I wonder though.
There's some shit that he says that I'm like, man, like they're gonna kill you for this, dude.
And he gets away with it.
But no, he doesn't. Like, dude, he is like hated right now.
Oh, because of the Trump shit? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
And he kind of backpedaled on it, and now he's back at it.
There's some shit that he does where I'm like, man, they're gonna kill you for this. But I feel you on this right now. Like, for instance, so mental health is like a big thing, kind of topically right now.
Really?
Especially in hip hop culture, it's a big deal.
How so?
It's the conversation of choice at the moment. Charlemagne just put out a book called "Anxiety Playing Tricks on Me."
Oh, okay.
Kanye West's whole situation where he's been talking about mental health a lot. Kid Cudi, who he went away. Like he went to like a facility for like depression and shit. Like, so it's just a very, Button has been talking about his shit forever.
Yeah.
It's just become a thing. It's a topic of conversation right now. And I'm reading through Kanye's tweets and he's like, yep, I'm off my meds. I'm off all this shit. But you know what? I finally feel back in touch with creating. And I'm like, not meds, but I know that. I know that feeling. I know when you feel like you need the worst to be your best. I understand that, but it's just the wrong time for that public tweet. Just tell Kim.
Yeah.
Just tell Kim.
Yeah, the Twitter needs to go away.
Tell Bruce. You know what I mean?
Caitlyn.
Whatever. That's how you're right. Tell Caitlyn. But don't put that on Twitter right now. It's not a good look for you right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get into our year-end wrap-up.
Okay.
I'm
You
excited.
want to do news and questions first?
I figured we'd break it up a little bit.
All right, let's go ahead and save it first.
Okay.
So I had to step out of the room for a minute, so I apologize. I missed most of that Twitter ranting conversation. So
It was fun.
So my wife called me, and she normally knows what I'm doing that she doesn't call, but she's at the grocery store, and we use a
Ketchup?
We use a credit union back in Alabama, where I'm from, still for our primary banking because they're just been really good to us over the years, and it still works. So she goes to check out. The credit union's completely offline. You can't transfer money. You can't spend money. You can't do anything. So here she is with a $300 cart of groceries trying to check out, and she can't. Can't transfer money to our other bank account we have up here. So I transfer. She has a PayPal debit. I have a PayPal debit. So I transferred her money from my PayPal to her PayPal so she could pay for the groceries, and I'll get my money back later. But it's just like, how awful is that?
That's weird,
to be
dude.
completely locked out.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Put some money in the mattress.
Yeah.
I also have another thing I keep forgetting. I should have made notes this week. JD and Chan came down, spent the night.
Yep.
Had a great conversation, recorded it for Patreon. Went to some dark places.
Like what?
I'm not going to give it away. It's a fucking awesome conversation about them, their history with collecting, and like we talked about the Mythic Legions a good bit. Had like a friendly debate about it.
I've heard about those.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. So I'll be putting that up. And then Bricks came by also, and I got a quick half hour with him. He it was raining that day. He ended up being like a half hour late. Josh Fisher came by. He was supposed to be there at 2. He ended up being there at 3:45. So he was like an hour and 45 minutes late. Bricks was like an hour late. Some shit. So like, I just couldn't get it all done that I wanted to get done in time to make it. So like it all got fucked up. The best made plans, something don't work out.
Yeah, gone to waste.
So, but yeah, it was a great conversation. Look for that on Patreon. We have also for the Patreon listeners, let us know if you're happy with this type of content, because it is new and it is like easy. Not easier isn't the right word, but like if shit pops,
it's more organic.
Yes. And if something natural pops up, if you're like, you know what, this satisfies me, or if you're like, nope, I support Patreon because I want to hear Adam and Bobby and Joe and now Chris sit at the table and talk, then that's fine too. I'm happy to fulfill. Just let me know what it is that you want, and if this is making you happy. So 2018 wrap up. We have a few categories. I just talked to Adam briefly about maybe doing some more fun ones next year, but
maybe we can throw a fun one in here.
We'd have to think about it. We'd have to think.
No, just throw it.
Okay. All right. I'll let you handle that bit. So best and worst of 2018. What is the best thing that you've created this year?
Oh, we're skipping to that one?
I was just going in order.
Oh, I thought
I just copy pasted it.
Oh, I must have fucked up when I copy and pasted it. I think the best thing the thing that I'm most happy with my creation is the collection of AdMech terrain for that one table, like the industrial type table. I think that I really went to some good places with some of my painting. Experiment a little bit. I got a good amount of it done. It looks fucking good. Everybody that comes in there like, dude, this table looks really fucking good. And one of the things about gaming, and it's like one of my little traditions, rituals before a game Sundays. Like I go around and I kind of like add in my head a story I want to tell on this table. Now I'm not going to play on all these tables, of course. People are going to come and bring their models around, but like I get kind of like funny about like, all right, this is how the terrain is going to be set up for this table, and like it's people don't, they're usually I could dress a table. Someone brag about it, not me. All right, and people are always like, oh, dude, this looks awesome. And it does change the game dynamic a lot.
For sure.
But there's something about like going there and having it, the table looks fucking good. The scenery's all well painted. It's got character.
It makes you more engrossed in the world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And like every once in a while, like, oh, dude, I didn't even notice little doodad you painted right here, but that's so fucking cool. Like I want to go and do like propaganda posters at one point, like little doodads and shit like that. So that's one thing that I've been working my ass off this year to get done for the club, and I feel pretty good about that.
Nice.
Oh man, this was hard. I created so much this past year, and
some would brag about it.
And what I'm getting to is I like to surround myself. I've found out that I like to surround myself with creative people. I think we all thrive on each other's creativity. But all the diorama pieces that I did this year, one that sticks out to me is Bobby and I had a chance to collaborate on a piece, and I enjoyed that, and look forward to doing some more of that kind of stuff.
The Java one,
the Java Palace, yeah. Now that we have the full potential of the XCOV, I think we can really come up with some maybe some space walls eventually,
or a platform.
I actually have that figured out in my head. I need to talk to you about that before you leave. But there's one that was pre-machine and one post-machine. The pre-machine would be and it was for a friend for a birthday present. So it may be why I did a version of Daredevil's loft with the two big windows. I went to my buddy Dan from Enter the Realm cast for his birthday. That's what he wanted for his birthday from the crew, was a Crashbox diorama, which I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
so that was a lot of fun to do. Trying to capture the essence of it, which I think I did a pretty good job. And then that space hallway, I think, is quite impressive. The one I just finished, from a creative standpoint.
Yeah, that's really good. That's why I'm critical of your work, right? Like when you do something, like you haven't done anything, I don't think, this year that hasn't been great.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
But if all you hear...
Don't suggest to him to add a little dry brush to make the edges pop. He's very sensitive about that.
There is some sensitivity. So that's why I want to bring it up. I didn't know that you've encountered it as well. So you...
Hang on a sec. So every time, every time with Adam, it's always you know what you should do.
Yeah, I do it too.
Yeah.
I'm guilty too.
Yeah. And Chris, with all due respect,
I do it to him too.
yeah, he does, and we do it to each other.
Yeah.
With all due respect, I wouldn't say anything. It's not a criticism. It's not a criticism because I think that it's poor or anything like that. It's a criticism because I've been doing things like that for 25 years,
and I get that.
And you might not know, and I don't know what you know and
Right.
what you don't know.
The issue with
I'm never going to say anything about dry brushing.
no, listen,
ever again.
Listen, no, the issue
gotta say
always
little watch.
comes when I'm done with it and I show it to you. Then maybe I should start showing you hey, Adam, I'm about to seal this. What else do you think I should do?
Maybe.
So on my end, it's not because I've been doing it for X amount. For me,
Yeah.
it's that I believe in what you're doing. I like what you do. More importantly, and perhaps selfishly, I'm inspired by what you do.
Aw.
So I want to push so that you can make me better.
It's fair enough. Yeah.
So like when I see something,
See how it started out kind of giving, but it turned into a selfish thing.
It's absolutely.
well,
We're
I want to keep it.
we're
I
all
want to keep it
selfish.
balanced. I want to keep it balanced. Now, what scale it's balanced at? I don't know, but
Most likely 1/6 scale.
Yeah, I was going to say I can do any scale.
but
I can do quarters.
so like that's why I always try to give something. Now, if I don't have anything, then I just see it and I got nothing. I don't know what could make this better.
Right.
And usually when I see that, I'm just like, look for some commissions and something else because you've beat this one.
Well, you and I have had that conversation many times.
Yeah, and he does the same thing with me.
Correct.
Space Wolves.
And I feel like the same. I feel like the same thing. Like, I like this. This is done. This is really good, but this you can do better.
Correct.
And I'm like, something like, you don't know what you're looking for here. You can't know what you're looking for here. But okay, thank you. So I understand the frustration.
And to another extent, sometimes I know how much I'm getting paid for this commission, and I know that what I've done already
it's above and beyond.
Is above and beyond the value. So,
Yeah, right.
so if,
I mean, that space hallway, no bullshit, $1,000.
yeah, I'm nowhere near that.
I know,
Not even half.
I know. But like, I don't think, and dude, one of the hardest things to fucking do is to put a price tag or a value in something that you do.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you, the only reason, and I'm not even that good at it. I'm not saying that I'm fucking proficient at it at all. But I will tell you, I've worked with enough things and helping people out, and then later, they're making astronomical amounts of money, and like, I'm like stuck holding my dick in my hand, and I'm like, fuck.
Is it clean though when you're holding it?
Yeah, of course. Just clean. I just washed it right before you went to the bathroom. But and then so it's like it's difficult to be like, all right, how do you objectively put a price on something that everything's subjectively priced, but at the same time do yourself a value for your time, but not also gouging somebody else? It's fucking hard.
It is, and it's a hard place to find. Like, okay, like for example, that space hallways for a guy that collects $6 action figures.
Yeah,
And for him to come out of pocket $1,000.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I like when I looked, there was a phase life that you went through.
Oh, don't do that.
It's a Shadowcast joke. Where you had started implementing the airbrush.
Yeah,
And you were showing me all these pieces, and they were finished. But I was looking at them, and I was like, this looks like a learning exercise for you. It doesn't look like a finished piece from you. Mm-hmm. So I would say, like, give me some paint too, some hand paint, because I know the caliber of skill. Don't fall back on this new trick that's super effective, but should just be one tool in the toolbox. But I also feel like you this year have really begun to marry all of your different disciplines.
Yeah,
and that's where I'm coming from. It's always in the sense of trying to make something that's good better. It's not trash, ever,
Right.
And I understand the money aspect of it as well.
Yeah.
Getting away from the money aspect of it, I pride myself on learning new things, and I pick stuff up from you in the scale you do. I watch a lot of stuff like guys that do model cars.
Yeah.
Like that cinnamon trick. I've been
And the other thing too, dude, if you're getting enriched by doing it, then it does have its own value.
Correct.
Sure. You know?
I mean, I
Correct,
enjoyed it. Listen, the moment I don't want to do this anymore, I'll refund deposits and say I'm done.
Right. Yeah.
But I enjoy every minute of what I'm doing.
I think that's obvious.
Yeah.
For me, it's like three come to mind.
And I want to say something. And guys get in the space hallway, don't feel guilty that you're not paying $1,000. All right.
The Rebels,
or even worse, get it like this thing wasn't worth $1,000. He's fucking out of his mind. Sorry.
The Rebels Ghost Dial, the
That was good.
the Jetta Dial,
Mm-hmm.
and the Optimus drawing.
Yeah.
Are like three things that I'm proud of this year.
Not the song.
No, no.
The video. I'm really like.
So the video, I think it's because I just did the making of it today, right? And I think, like we were talking about, you start talking and then you start saying what's really at the heart of a problem.
So you didn't get everything you wanted in those scenes.
I didn't. It didn't match my vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's as good as it could be given my knowledge, skill,
It's
and
the
ability.
best Ant-Man movie that can be.
Yeah, but
it's not the Avengers.
But it wasn't what I envisioned. It's
Okay.
close.
Is that a technology gap? Is that what that boils
I think
down
it's technology, and I
Time
think
management
it's and I think it's also know-how. Like in my head, I was like, "Man, this should
Yeah.
work fine," and then I got there, and I was like, "It doesn't work fine. I can make it. We can get through this if we do this, but it doesn't work fine." But yeah, what about worst thing you've created?
So the worst thing that I created is probably going to be my game cabinet, because it's so half-assed, and like the wood is, there's, we had a rough concept of what we're going to do. We catted it out and everything, but we didn't take into consideration like the thickness of the wood and the angles that we needed. So like right now, it needs to be taken apart. Some other additional cuts need to be made. Some things need to be sanded and puttied before it's painted. So, now that we're in 2019, I got it. It's like I like it, but it's like it's bootleg right now, and it's bootleg.
Right.
So I mean, I'm happy that it's working and it's functional, but it is kind of like part of me is like, dude, stop fucking lying to yourself. You know you're never going to take that thing back apart, finish those cuts, and paint it. Don't. It's going to be that way forever. And that's kind of like sticking in my side. And I want to get, Bearded Keith and my buddy William to come back over and help me finish that up. But like, I've got a little bit of woodworking experience, so to speak, and I know the quality, but like I feel like I've forgotten a lot of stuff that I used to know with it. So I know I'm capable of higher quality than that. Like when I was half of the furniture in my room I fucking built when I was a kid.
Really?
Yeah. Like my grandfather had a shop. My uncle Billy had a shop. He used to go and work with him, like making cabinets. And I did like all through high school. I did woodworking class. So like both my nightstands, my dresser, I had a coffee table. I had a fucking little TV thing, like a TV stand type of thing. And I like doing it. I don't have the equipment or the machines to do. I don't have a fucking planer and shit like that.
Right.
So everything's like in hand tools, and there's only so good you can do with that. Yeah, I want to get back and finish that because I would like to do another one for somebody else. Like I think you would love to have one here.
That's something that it's funny. The wife and I were looking at those 2-up cabinets or whatever they've been selling at Walmart.
Yeah,
and then she said something about that. I said, you can buy a Raspberry Pi or whatever, and then build your own. And I don't remember what she said, but then literally that same night we came to your place and you have all that shit. I'm like, that's exactly what I was talking about. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
What about the worst thing you made?
Oh man, I got asked to make some trees. that's been a learning curve. I think I'm on 4.0 trees now. The first ones were, I rushed through it. It wasn't what I wanted it to be.
Trees are fucking organic shit is fucking hard.
I've gotten pretty good. At it now, but those ones actually ended up going to a friend of mine in a trade, and I felt so bad about him. I made him another set for free.
A little khaki dry brush on the bark.
Khaki. You know what's funny? Looking at trees. Trees. Most people paint them brown. The trees aren't really brown. They're gray.
Yeah,
They're gray with green and brown spots. So
Yeah.
I've tried to get that down. So I think what I'm doing now looks a whole lot better. But those first ones, just like, yeesh. Why did I even? And I took down the picture of them. I'm like, ugh, that's rough.
Mine would probably be my.
Oh, let me guess. Hold on. Let me think.
It's two. Two will come right to. Like
So it would be the Hoth Ice Cave.
100%.
And what else did you make?
The other one is harder to pinpoint. But
Hold on. Don't give me a second.
Okay.
Is it the trees with the biker scouts?
No.
Because you were like I could have done this better.
Yeah. No, I could have done it better, but it was a learning. I learned from it. It was my Rogue review or Rouge review. I planned it to be like I was going to be reviewing it, and then it was going to be a smack in the face as to why I wouldn't go through it. And I should and I thought it'd be a fun adventure to go on as a viewer. But I think it disappointed a lot of people, and then as a result wasn't effective. And I should have just turned it into a conversation piece from the Giddy Up. So that's a regret that I have on the creative end. Now I put in here best and worst thing you've bought, but we could also make it received. You know, like if,
Okay. Ooh, then you might have changed it up. Ooh, that's a tough one. Why don't you go first?
Well, I
Chris?
mean, mine's easy. It's my X-Carve machine, the router.
Oh, yeah.
It's a no-brainer for me. I mean, I paid for it with money that I earned making dioramas. So, and it's a game changer for all of us.
My best thing that I bought was definitely this Hot Toys Iron Man. Like I am in lust with it, which says a lot because I'm not overly crazy about the character. You know, like I value his part of the team, but I'm nowhere near a hardcore fan, and probably like most of the characters in that display more than him. But he's just so damn well done.
Yeah.
And then as far as the other thing would be a Black Series Jaina, like that's crazy for me. And then some of this like JD's Asajj custom and this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This dude drew this picture of Han Solo for me, and like so fucking awesome. So like, yeah, that's all that comes to mind.
I'm not. I'm not a big car guy, but I think I got my car this year.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think my car. I fucking love my car. I spend a lot of time in my car now.
Right.
And it's a pleasure. Like it's the little things, man. Like walking up to it and not having to unlock it. It just unlocks itself. And getting in it, and it starts playing the last song or the last thing you were playing, and like I feel like it knows me. The fact that I can park in a garage for the first time in my life, I'm very happy with it. But the other best thing I bought too, and funny enough, is kind of my game cabinet.
Oh, really?
I mean, like, dude, it has been, I think the biggest return on investment for money all year long. The kids have been killing it. I've been happy with it. I mean, I get up in the morning, I'm like, have a cup of coffee.
Get around in.
Yeah,
Get around in.
Everybody who's come over.
Watch a walkthrough.
There you go. Watch a walkthrough. No, you know what the fucked up thing about it is? So I've been playing that game for 20 years. 20 years. And I've prided myself on like finding every secret. There's like a way you can go outside the castle walls.
Yeah.
And like fly around and get like more of the map exposed. There's a fucking secret. I've heard rumors about it forever. The secret save point, because in the Sega Saturn version, it has a whole other area. It's like the secret garden.
Sega Saturn.
Yeah, sorry. I know. So like, I want that fucking version of the game now, but it's in Japanese. So, but like, there is a glitch to like fall through the floor, and I finally found out how to do it. And like, I'm frantically trying to find I found my PS1, I found my old copy, and I can't find my memory card. But like my super save or whatever, and I transferred at one point to my PS3, and that's not working either. So I'm like, no. So I mean, I'll eventually find it someplace. I hope I didn't throw it away, but I fucking probably did throw it away. 'Cause I'm an asshole. So the game cabinet is the same. Like, the kids love it, and it's been in like the fucking family room upstairs, and it's supposed to go down in the basement when I'm done. I don't know if it's going to go in the basement. It might stay in the fucking family room. You know.
What about the worst thing?
So for me, this is an interesting direction to go with this. It's wholesaling action figures. It was just I lost my ass on that this year.
That's a tough hustle, man.
I'm not. Yeah, and
If it was easy, everybody'd be doing it.
well, a lot of people do it, and that's one of the problems. And it's the Hasbro stuff, the retail stuff. It's just tough to The problem is you get commitments for this stuff. And, Big BBTS and several other places, they don't take a deposit.
Right.
So I can't get anybody to give me $5 or $10 or whatever. And then, the stuff comes out at retail, oftentimes, almost always, before I would end up getting it. And so when the bell would ring, I'd hit people up and they'd say, oh, I already got it. Or, oh, I don't have the money. So here I am holding
Cases upon cases.
of, I've still got some of that shit sitting in my
I've seen
basement
it.
for sale. And I'm at the end of the day, I'd like to just, I don't know. I'm probably going to end up putting on eBay with 99 cents starting bid and get whatever I get for it, just to get rid of it. But I learned my lesson. I just can't hang. I just can't hang, so to speak, and the money's not there. And I talked to my rep at my distributor about it, and he's like, "Yeah, I don't see how anybody can compete with Walmart and Target and Walgreens even, for goodness sake." So that would be my regretful purchases of the year.
Mine is definitely the Unique Toys Vortex and Blast Off. I fucking hate them.
Really?
I fucking hate them.
Now, what are they combined to make right now?
They combined to make a Bruticus.
But they're not combined.
They're not currently.
Where are they
combined.
right now?
On a shelf in there.
So they're stand-ins.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't wait to get rid of them.
Oh, okay. What's next?
Anything.
So you're gonna buy another one of the big ones to replace them?
No, the big one's fine.
Like to have in bot mode.
Yeah, the bot modes have to be replaced. I can't stand looking at them.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
And the problem is I love the first two, and the third one it was acceptable. So in a way I've wasted $500 on a $200 problem. What about you?
Worst thing I bought.
You're like
That was
also
given
the
to
game
me.
cabinet in a weird way.
Put a bow on it.
Yeah. Probably the fuck. There's probably a gang of 40K book. Yeah, you know what? My collection of 8th edition Warhammer 40K books that I don't fucking use, and like there's this. And I know you guys can understand this, like this collecting thing of like, don't fall behind.
Yep.
Because
Exactly.
you'll regret it later.
Yep.
Just
for sure.
fucking bite the bullet now. Pay the $30 because you'll be paying $60 later.
100%.
Yep.
And like I finally came to grips with it, and it's funny. So I know not many people who are listening to this are in the gaming realm, but like
Realm.
there's a flow of playing a game with people frequently. If you're familiar, it kind of takes on its own thing. And if that flow gets interrupted, it just fucks up the whole homeostasis of it. Like it's like when you and your buddies are used to playing Mortal Kombat 3, and then a new Mortal Kombat comes, and you just don't like an aspect of it. You're just like, fuck, I don't like this, but we can't go backwards. You know what I mean? Like, because this is the superior version, and we should all be playing the superior version, right? Can we agree with that?
Yeah.
But I don't like this no block button for Mortal Kombat. All Mortal Kombat needs to have a block button, theoretically.
Yeah, I
speaking,
got you.
And so you're stuck in this thing, and it does kind of schism the group, because people are just not going to fuck with it anymore. They're not as passionate about it anymore, so you just kind of lose out. And that's what's kind of happened with 8th edition. Like I thought that it would bring more people, and it has brought new people, but like a lot of like the old timer guys are out, and the only ones that are kind of sticking around are the guys who transitioned to 30K. And 30K is based off the old 7th edition rules. So I know this was a lot. So I've invested on keeping the club up to date with shit, but I am not interested.
At the expense of what you like.
Yeah, I am not interested anymore. And like, and I thought like, when the Space Wolves Codex comes out, I'll have that's my main army. Maybe I'll jump back into it. I haven't even fucking looked at the book. You know what I mean? Like I can't be fucking bothered at this point. And it's in the sad part about it is that all the things they were trying to quote unquote fix about the last one, I think that's compound. I think it's gotten worse. I think it's more bullshit. They've taken like a large group of special rules in the main rule book, and they've spread them out into all the army books, and then the same special rules, but now they have different names. So it's even more confusing. The games are long as fuck, and I just think it fucking sucks. So, and I've spent probably a couple $1,000 to.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
I'm
sucks.
sure.
What about best album or song?
It would have to be something from the movie Maui.
Maui?
What can I say? Yeah, what can I say except you're welcome? Or maybe
that's Moana.
Oh, patriarchy. I fucked up right there. I don't even know what the last album I bought was.
Or song that you were into.
Probably a Taylor Swift song. It's a little joke between my wife and I, because like I don't listen to any fucking new music. I mean, if I'm in the car, I'm listening to a podcast, and so I'll hear a song, and of course my kids know every fucking lyric to every fucking song. I don't know where they hear it.
Dude, I'm the same way.
It's fucking nuts, right? And so there's like if you were to go through my album, all my albums, I would probably say it's probably 80% male vocals to 20% female vocals. Just that's the way it falls. I don't know. I just like most male vocals better. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Nina Simone's one of my favorite female vocalists, and there's plenty of stuff on there. But like I don't that many female vocals I like. But I'll hear a song like, oh, I like this. Oh, who sings this? Taylor Swift. So I like the joke. Like it's always like I don't know her songs. I couldn't. I could probably sing one if I started hearing it. But like every time
I'd love to like watch you getting ready for dinner singing "Look What You Made Me Do."
I don't even know what that song is. I don't know the names of them.
It's like her big hit of I feel like this year, maybe last year.
But like we'll be like, oh yeah, I like the song. Like Taylor Swift every time. She speaks to me. She speaks to me.
She's your spirit animal.
Maybe she is.
What about you?
I think Rick Sanchez is my spirit animal. To be honest with you.
I can see that.
Yeah.
You just need a little slobber here. So I listen to a lot of different genres of music. Right now, I've been listening to a lot of, I guess we'll call it modern rock. Shinedown's album this year, Attention, Attention, is excellent.
Are they still making rock music?
I mean, yeah.
I feel like, I'm asking that jokingly. Because like I check out the rock section like every week, and like I swear to God, in like the new releases, there's albums on there from like a month ago.
I mean, I don't know exactly.
It just seems like that genre is not getting a lot of product. It seems like from me looking at it,
and it may not, because I think if you compare it to hip hop or rap or whatever you want to call it,
and R&B and pop,
right?
And
right. I mean, it is
metal
so
even
right. Well, what I'm getting at is, I think rock music, although it is heavily produced, is still more organic. You have to get people together and play the instruments. You'd think. Whereas,
I feel like people's first album, you get that.
Right.
Like
well, what I'm getting at is
this guy does the drums, and they mail it to that guy, and he does the guitar, and then mail it to that guy. And
well, it's still organic if it's played with instruments. What I'm getting at is, Lil Small Homie, whatever his name is over here,
Lil Flip Flop.
Dude, that's not a bad rap name.
It's not.
Dude, look it up. See if there's a Lil Flip Flop.
Probably taken.
And he goes back and forth on his issues.
So, saying that to say, I enjoy that album. Their single off of it, "Devil," is a song I listen to a lot. And I think I ingest music probably differently than you guys. I'll put on like
there's a
Lil Flip Flop.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
Let's not.
Really?
Go ahead.
I kind of want to.
I want to hear. You ingest music differently.
I'll go on. I have a streaming streaming Amazon Prime. And there's some things that don't come on there because it's a title exclusive or whatever. But I'm sure it's the other way for some other stuff. But I'll put on there's a Shinedown station and they just play. They play like related music, and I'll find new stuff I like that way.
Right. No, I think that's the modern way.
It is, and that's how I discover it. Now I'll even go back to when Yellow Wolf is an artist I have enjoyed his music. His newer stuff's a bit further out than I care to go,
It is.
I discovered Yellow through an Eminem Pandora station years ago.
Yeah.
But on the other side, I will pick something that's a little bit more of an urban vibe, and I had heard it, but you kind of introduced me to it. It's Beer Bongs and Bentleys. That's a phenomenal
Post
album. I
Malone
mean, you could
record.
put that
It's
on and
good,
listen to
dude.
it all the way
I
through.
think Yellow Wolf in that
He's from Alabama, where I'm from.
yeah,
That's true.
In the what's his face, fucking Joe Budden's album. It's the last 2 albums I bought, I think.
Yeah. So there is a real quick shout out to a rock artist out there I got turned on to earlier this year. I think they put out February, March, somewhere in there. It's a band called Grandson. They're not phenomenal, but they are a decent rock band. They are different. But mine is definitely 100% St. John. Like I found it at the beginning of summer, and I've been listening to it ever since. I think it's called Collection 1, and it's awesome. Especially the song 3 Below.
All right. I got a question for you. Let's see the last. Can you look at the last few songs you purchased?
I can tell you the last few songs I've streamed. I couldn't tell you the last album I bought was the Suicide Squad soundtrack. If that tells you anything.
Yeah, I mean, it can be the last recently added songs. Mine are kind of funny.
I don't even know if I can look at a history of what I've listened to.
All right. Mine are Turned Down for What by Lil Jon.
Really?
Yeah. Hot in Here by Nelly.
That's wild as fuck.
Build Me Up Buttercup by The Foundation. The Queen Platinum Collection, hits 1, 2, and 3.
I got that.
Take On Me, MTV Unplugged. Say, 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 remastered by Paul McCartney. My last 6 songs.
I have Meek Mill Championships.
That's a damn good album too.
That probably would win objectively album of the year. Nothing for me. I downloaded my own shit. This song called You by Nicole Buss. It's fucking awesome. Yeah,
Is that one that we played on the Patreon?
I don't think so. I will play a quick little snippet of it. And then I have Memory Lane by Escape and Mac Talk, Drippy. But should sound pretty familiar sample-wise. This lady can sing her ass off. I think she was actually on a show, like one of those, like, learn how to sing. Or who's
So
the
you
best-
think you can sing?
Yeah, yeah.
The Voice.
But like, she can...
Yeah, send that to me. I like that.
Yeah.
The only female singers I like are like soulful ass singers.
Yeah, I'm a...
And Taylor Swift.
I
And Taylor
actually
Swift.
had a conversation
But I
with-
haven't bought any Taylor Swift albums.
So I've been driving the mop truck and hooking up my phone.
I gotta take this.
All right. We'll pause it.
This is Adam. All right. Sorry about that.
Worst song / album, I think. That's what we're on.
Nelly.
Hot in Here.
Hot in Here.
What made you buy that?
Oh, we were partying or something, and somebody requested it, and we had it like plugged in. It was.
Okay. I gotcha.
Yeah. Like I said, I'll tell you that it's not nerve. I had a good time at this holiday party. My wife's work. Yeah, like we went. They fucking rented a fucking limousine bus. We drove all the way. To
Oh yeah,
Tyson
you told me
Corners.
about that.
Fucking awesome.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna say the Carter 5 just because it was disappointing. It was
That's a
disappointing
good
to me.
answer. That's a good
I
answer.
mean, I was really looking forward to that album because I've been a Lil Wayne fan since, I don't know, 99 or 2000, your choice.
Yeah.
When Cash Money Records was taking over. But it was just disappointing to me. And I think the problem was it had been delayed so much.
yeah.
Because he's done good features in that pocket, stuff I've really enjoyed, but that is just, it's not for me at least. And maybe, I don't know.
No, I get it.
That's it for me.
I get it. Mine would probably be the solo soundtrack, or maybe Pussifer's album. I just can't remember whether that came out this year or last year. But I was disappointed by
Which
that.
one was that?
The latest one. I couldn't even tell you the name because I didn't buy one song off of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And then the next one was, I believe it was Best Book. Best Book?
Yeah.
I got it right here.
Yes,
what it
Best
was.
Book.
Black Hammer. Oh, is it best comic book or book?
Whatever.
Ooh, wait a minute a second. There was two different categories that I think, or maybe it's best read.
No, best book. The next best book, best TV show, best movie is what's left.
All right, well, best is going to be 2 because 12 Rules for Life, Ended into Chaos, which I also bought you a copy. I bought 6 copies of that book.
Good.
6.
6 is good.
I think it needs to be mandatory reading. And if it's too hard to read, download it. I'll fucking pay. I'll pay for it if you listen to it.
And what's the other one?
Black Hammer.
Black Hammer. What about you?
So I have a book that I listen to. I never read anymore, but it's for work. But I think you can apply it to a lot of the stuff. It's called Cracking the Sales Management Code. As I'm listening to it, our work, the philosophy my company has is basically based on this book, and I did not realize that it had been suggested reading at one point in time, but nobody really pushed it.
Send me the link, the title of that.
Okay,
Seriously,
I will. And it's from a comic standpoint, it would be the War of Jokes and Riddles was by far DC book was the best.
I wasn't going there.
Was the
I wasn't
best
going there.
the best story I think I read this year from a comic book standpoint. I mean, I read a lot, but that one stands out. That was really good.
Mine is that Superman American Alien book. That's the book I really enjoyed the most this year.
That was really good.
But I read a lot of great. I read Outcast this year. I read a lot of great comics this year, but that was definitely the best. What about worst?
That Spider-Man after Doc Ock. I couldn't fucking be bothered to finish that. It was
Mine's
fucking dumb.
So spoilers. Mine's the Spider-Man Doc Ock. That's just definitely the worst thing I've read all year, like bar none.
It was so bad that I couldn't.
I didn't know you read it too.
So I bought
Superior Spider-Man.
the Superior Spider-Man.
He read the book after.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So I bought the big ass hardback ones, like the first and the second after that, and the Thor Odinson first and second one that came after that, because I was like, I'm gonna go fucking spend $100 on Marvel books. Started reading the Thor one, was getting into it, got through the first arc, opened to the Spider-Man. So disgusted by it, I put them all away. Didn't even take the wrapping off of the second 2 books. Still in wrapping.
So you didn't read it.
I mean, I got halfway through it. And
Oh, okay. I thought you opened it up and you were like so disgusted by it.
Oh, no. I mean, I started reading it. I was
like,
like, what the fuck is this?
Gotcha.
You know the part that killed me? I'm not going to say it, man. I'll leave it alone because I don't want to offend anybody. But it was bad. It was real bad. It was bad.
What about you?
I couldn't come up with the worst thing I read this year, and I think a lot of that is if it's something I read a couple pages and I just cannot get into it, I don't read it.
Yeah, I
Like I'll give you an example. Paul C. loaned
all those books,
and there was a title in there. It's Quantum and Woody. Man, Paul, I know you're passionate about that, and I tried my best, and I just couldn't. I read like half of it, and I'm like, it's not bad. I won't call it bad. I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. It didn't catch my attention.
See, I will if I'm committed to it, like the Spider-Man one, because I wanted to have an opinion on it, So like, but I hear you. And best TV show.
Oh, this is a hard one, man. I want to say like the best new TV show,
Whatever,
that I've been watching, that I've been into I've been enjoying with my wife is The Good Place. I just really enjoy it. It's
I think it's been well received too,
and it's one of the most original concepts for a show. And it's got some good character stuff. I've also been enjoying the fuck out of Voltron because of it has probably been the most prolific anime show in the shortest amount of time. I mean, I think they're almost at the 86 episodes or 96 episodes, and I feel like that motherfucker just started. And I think I'm not done yet, but I think it's going to be icing on the cake.
Nice. Christopher.
So mine's all Netflix shows. Go figure.
Mine too.
Daredevil season 3 to me was phenomenal. I actually have 3 here. Altered Carbon. Did you guys watch that?
Oh, that was really good.
That was excellent. I love the world they built
agree.
there.
Yeah.
And
They're doing a season 2.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's good to know. And then Disenchantment was something they did on there. It's
Oh, yeah. Ooh,
Matt Groening did it.
I didn't
Groening
finish
did it.
that.
Mine is is that cult show that was out there?
Yeah.
Fucking,
Wild West or Wild Wild.
Fucking Wild World, some shit.
Yeah.
Whatever it was, that fucking thing had me by the balls.
Yeah.
And it's the only show this year that's captivated me in the same way. And it's a documentary show, but it still counts.
I think you need to start your own cult.
Yeah.
I think you would enjoy it.
He already has.
Kind of.
It's more like a summer camp. I'm just a camp counselor.
Just start a dopest cult.
Bad touch. Swimming time.
It's called.
Dopest.
Did Rick and Morty season 3 come out this year?
I don't know.
And worst?
The worst show. This is a tough one. It's probably going to have to be The Flash. Because like
That was Flashpoint, wasn't it? Or no?
The Flashpoint was last year.
Oh, okay. I can't keep
They did
Yeah.
some sort of crossover this year.
This year they did the Elseworld crossover. It was conceptually okay. That's the only reason I caught up to The Flash is to watch the Elseworld, and the only reason why is because they did another crossover last year. I never watched it. It was like the Nazi world. You know what I mean? The only reason I watched this year is because the 1990s Flash was actually the guy who plays Barry's father
Yeah.
was the Flash from the 1990s.
Gotcha.
Like, I've seen them all.
right.
I'm gonna fucking finish them.
Right.
But yeah, the Flash has turned into fucking hot garbage. Hot garbage. So
What about you?
Kind of the same way as reading. If it's something I don't want to ingest, I won't. If it doesn't grab my attention, but I accidentally watched 2 episodes of something, and I say that by I'm sitting in a room doing something, and at the moment we have broadcast cable, whatever you want to call it, because it was the same price with the internet. I'm not paying anything extra for it, and it'll go away once the 2 years is over or whatever. There's a show called Shades of Blue. It's got Jennifer Lopez as a cop.
Oh yeah.
And I'm familiar. The artist formerly known as Ray Liotta's face in it. That dude, he doesn't even look like himself. Like
it's swollen.
He's in a Chantix commercial. Hi, I'm Ray, and I used to be a smoker. You also used to be a pretty good looking guy that made gangster movies. And now you look like a bloated cartoon.
He does look rough in those Shantix commercials.
But I mean, take that and put it in a crime drama, and then.
Yeah, it's bad.
And then they try to dress down
Faces
Jennifer
with
Lopez. Like she has on very minimal makeup. Her hair's not done. And there's just something about somebody that's that iconic, I think.
Yeah.
Trying to get her in that role. It just
Doesn't
doesn't
suspend disbelief.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just stumbled upon that. I ended up watching 2 episodes and I'm like, this is awful. Why am I even sitting here?
If your booty is insured for like 5 to 6 digits, you can't be an everyday guy.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
I get it.
So you know what? That might be an internet rumor. You know what, Adam?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, Lord.
But no, but they do shit like that.
Yeah, no, I know.
But like,
that was what I'd always
what's
heard.
the cutoff?
Turner's
Like when it gets old and floppy, they collect the money.
That I don't know.
You have to get
see
it
any paperwork.
appraised. It's a job.
Mine was Jessica Jones. Just never gave a shit. Like watched the whole thing, and even Iron Fist, I ended up caring about elements of.
I forgot I watched that. But yeah.
But Jessica Jones was definitely the worst for me. And best movie of the year, the big one,
Aquaman.
I see what you did there.
I can't even be bothered to smile anymore.
Oh man. No, I mean it's going to have to be.
It has to be
Infinity War.
It has to be.
Yeah. And I say that to say this.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe that we need to come up with a new term
for what that
for
is.
what Infinity War is.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's not a movie.
No, it's something else.
It's something else.
Yep,
It
I
is.
agree.
It is.
I agree.
Like, it's almost like the first apex of a 16-part serial.
If the movie is the curtain, Infinity War is what's behind it. Like, I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah. It's something else. But it's not a single film because it can't.
It doesn't exist in a vacuum.
It doesn't.
I mean, I have Infinity War written down, but you and I talked at some point in time the past couple of weeks about how it's more than a movie. It shouldn't count. So I picked
Yes,
I picked
yes.
I picked Spider-Verse behind it because I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Oh,
So you can give a runner-up if you want. I mean, I think
Yeah.
mine, obviously Infinity War is the best thing released this year.
Sure.
But if your follow-up was Spider-Man, my follow-up is Aquaman.
Fair enough.
I need to remember what came out this year.
Well, you know what's funny? My follow-up to that is probably Solo.
Really?
Dude, so it is for me too, and I debated on whether it would be Solo. I enjoy the hell out of that movie.
Yeah, but you enjoy it more than I do. What I'm trying to get to is that like I wasn't really impressed with much this year. Like I think
Bohemian Rhapsody was good.
Yeah, see, I didn't see. I don't get the opportunity to see shit like that. Black Panther is good. Ant-Man and Wasp is good. Deadpool 2 was less than good to me.
Deadpool 2 was that was one of my
Venom's trash.
most fun movie experiences.
You're speeding.
Bumblebee is good.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of movies I saw this year were just good. There was very few great.
Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yeah.
No. Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what I did. I went to Box Office Mojo and looked at the box office for 2018 and
Ocean's
went
8.
through everything
No?
I'd seen.
I didn't see it.
I want to look at see what else is happening.
I do want to see The Nun. None your business. No, but I do.
Skyscraper.
Oh God.
No.
We got one more category. In.
Let's
Peter Rabbit. Nobody.
let's get through these notes because we got a few.
Well, I want to say that my worst movie was Venom.
Oh yeah, that's right. Worst movie.
That I saw would be Venom. Just because
Yeah,
I was
it's mine too.
disappointed. And I'll never watch it again.
It's mine too.
Really?
It's mine too. Yeah.
never
Now
watch
I
it
really
again.
want to see it.
What would be yours?
The Meg.
Oh.
Slender Man.
What's your worst movie?
You know my
Small
You know.
Foot.
All right. We anybody's welcome to look it up. My follow up, my backup choice to Venom would be Jurassic World 2.
Oh, really?
And that was dog shit.
Really? I thought it was a how do I
Fun
say
romp?
it? Fun romp.
Yeah. No. I don't like it at all. But I like Venom less.
My worst movie of the year that I saw in the theater. God, what did we see that was? There was something that was shitty. That I don't remember what it was though. What did we see together this year?
Ant-Man. Did we see Ant-Man and Wasp together? We saw Black Panther together.
Yeah.
We saw Infinity War together.
Mm-hmm.
We saw Solo together. We saw
And Solo was fine.
yeah.
You know what? This year,
It's a bunch of average this year for me.
yeah, it's like one or two really good things, but there's not much great shit that came out this year. I mean, this year was kind of not for nothing. This year was a shitty year for movies, with the exception. Oh, The Predator.
Oh yeah.
The Predator.
Yeah.
That was it. Fucking trash.
I didn't see it, but everybody says this.
Oh, so fucking bad. I feel like, and don't get me wrong, I had a good time with the experience, like the
Right.
people
The
I went out
event.
with.
Yeah.
So Black Panther was good.
Yep.
So Black Panther, Aquaman, and Avengers: Infinity War in that order. Worst to least, worst to best.
Okay.
It for me is the only thing that's really worth mentioning.
Yeah. I mean, I think Ant-Man and the Wasp was good too.
Oh, yeah, that was okay.
You know, I just it doesn't have the replay value to me. You know, like I think I can watch Infinity War over and over and over again. I've gotten to a place now where I can watch Solo over and over again. And what was my second movie? Oh, Aquaman. Aquaman, I actually don't know if I'll be able to watch over and over again, but I want to see it again as of right now.
Well, I'll take a TNT when they premiere a movie. They play it 2 times in a row, so I might watch it over and over again then.
You know what's funny?
It'll match
Movies that come
napkins and
out that you
magnets.
like you watch certain, like you zoom into that part, like the Darth Maul and Star Wars. You forward to that part, forward in the VHS because it was before DVDs. The Joker interrogation scene with Batman. Like, do you know what my new shit is for Infinity War? Fucking Thor coming into Wakanda.
Oh, that's always been mine.
badass.
That's always been
I mean,
mine.
like it's like they're getting beat and looks down and all of a sudden,
Yeah.
they're like, oh shit, you're dead now.
That was always my
Oh, my God.
That was
Bring me-
always my walk away moment because that character, that moment in that film is the biggest part for any character in that film.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when all of a sudden it goes dark from the fucking clouds, and he's only illuminated by electricity. The visuals there, fucking perfect.
To me, it's the bookends. and then everything in between. The one bookend being the sky going dark when the whole battle is looking like it's going to go south, and then the other bookend being I am Steve Rogers, and everything in between that. Like that is my favorite moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so a couple of notes that we'll kind of breeze through this. We'll do questions. We'll just say the questions for next week.
Are we in a rush now?
Well, it's almost 5.
Oh wow, yeah. That's true.
So
the sun will be down soon, so
It's probably already down.
ripping alternate endings. Apparently, there were alternate endings for the Predator movie that involved like a Ripley Easter egg.
Yeah, I
heard
read that.
about that.
Yeah.
I don't even know how that would work because she's in the
Well,
way in the future.
here's my question: would it have any impact on how you viewed that movie? See, that's my thing. Is
Fuck
that like
no.
it's like it's just like it's. So what I thought of when I read this, I had the Darth Maul scene in my head, where the amount of like fun romp of Solo is not saved by Maul for me in that movie, and I'm a massive Maul fan, but it's just not enough, and that's how I feel like this would have felt.
No, I mean I'm not invested either way.
We got a cancellation teaser for Punisher season 2 that's coming very soon.
Nice.
I'm excited about it, but I mean, this is it. I mean, so enjoy.
I mean,
Yeah.
they already said this is the last season.
but
No, but it's going to be. I mean,
Yeah.
they're not going to pre-cancel it.
Yeah.
They'll give it a week or two and then say it's canceled.
Yeah.
Now, my question, real quick, about that: are those shows going to be leaving Netflix, or does Netflix
There's
own
a
those
2-year
properties
contract.
2-year contract
Yeah.
on them.
from their
Netflix.
release date?
Actually, I don't
think
know.
so. I don't know either.
I don't know. This podcast gets very boring.
Yeah, it's-
FYI.
but it's okay to go from there. It's okay to build from there. I don't know. My understanding is from the cancellation date, there's a 2-year
From the cancellation
black
date.
book on the character.
Gotcha.
But I think it's perfect. Like,
Yeah.
give me a 2-year break and then introduce them again, and I'm good with that.
Absolutely.
Then we have DC. We finally find out what DC Comics stands for.
Detective Comics.
No. Definite Class. They put a rest in peace, like little eulogy to Stan Lee in every one of their books that published this week or whatever, which is pretty fucking awesome. It's like to our our favorite competitor or whatever. Like, you know, it was very well done.
Nice.
Sexytology. Allison Mack, that's caught up in the Smallville drama, is going to stand on the defense, supposedly, of her sex cult. If you got out of it, you would be excommunicated from your friends, family that were all involved in it. And she was like, "Well, Scientology does the same thing." And actually, I think Jehovah's Witnesses. And I'm not trying to bash it, but I think once you're excommunicated from that church, everybody's supposed to kind of cut you off too.
I don't know.
And Mormons too, I believe. I could be wrong. I don't know. Look, I don't know, but
I don't either.
I could. That's my understanding. So they're going to use that defense of, well, look, our repercussions and consequences for leaving our sex cult are no different than the repercussions of Scientology, the repercussions of Jehovah, whatever.
Dude.
Sorry.
Dude, you got to eat with those things.
I know. So therefore, I mean, I think it's a solid little case. We have a bunch of
You
questions.
gonna leave it on the floor?
No, I'll get
No,
it.
I'm offended.
We have a bunch of questions and shit, but we'll save them for next week. Mike wrote in, Paul C wrote in, and then we got a couple.
I kind of feel we should do Paul C's question at least.
All right, let me find it. Paul C. What would you like to accomplish in 2019? No resolutions.
Oh,
My ultimate goal would be for a realistic goal, feasible goal, foreseeable goal would be there's an opportunity to promote to an official mop truck driver only, and I think I'm done with. I think I could walk away from mopping the floors at this point in my life and career as a mopper. So that would be my goal. It's in fall. Cross your fingers for me, Paul.
how about you?
I've taken a step professionally, taking on some new territory starting this year, another state, and part of that is some exposure into a different part of the business that I currently don't have, that I think will lead to better things for me going forward. Yep. Yeah. Professionally, that from the hobby side, I've really just started to get to the full potential of what I think I can accomplish with the equipment I have. And the wife and I have some ideas of some things we're going to try to do this year from that.
Mike T has a great question about the Netflix Marvel Universe, but it's meaty, so to speak. So we'll definitely save that one for next week.
All right.
But someone did write in, and I want to read that right after you do yours.
Okay.
Nice segue there.
Yeah, I just wanted to lay it out in my head. It's more for me.
He's got a quota of interruptions he's got to get done in the podcast. He was real low today. One thing I want to finish a project that I started because I feel like I have a
Professionally or
yeah, that too. Like it feels like even at work I get these projects, whatever they are, and they sometimes it's out of my control. I'll start researching something for an acquisition, and then we'll go through all the process, and we'll talk to vendors, and we'll do all the white paper bullshit, and we'll go to the next part to get it budgeted, and then something happens, and we're gonna put this on the back burner for a month, and then it just disappears, and it's like all that fucking work for nothing.
Yep.
But I'm talking about more personal. Like there's a couple projects that I'm working on. Like one is actually finishing some school, and one is finishing painting some armies, and this game cabinet.
I've heard of this game cabinet.
Jason, Oregon Jason, who I feel like maybe Joragon. Come on, Oregon Jason never really stuck. He said, "Hey, I wanted to make a general comment. I've heard the discussion on a couple of your show's videos now. To further the discussion on NRR, the new She-Ra, my kid loves that shit. From her perspective, at least, it's a big success. She had no history with the whole show, and to be fair, I don't much either. Like, I casually watched He-Man and She-Ra as a kid, but was never a huge fan. I watched some of the new show with her, and I thought it was fine. I didn't find anything bad about it, but I didn't care much for the characters. Just thought it would be good to add to the future discussion of the matter."
Do you put a little extra sauce in that fine?
He put a question mark at the end of it.
Okay.
All right. Sorry for that being so long. Also worth mentioning, my kid loves New Voltron, but when I tried to show her old Voltron, not into it at all. So that's another. That's relatively 2 for 2. And then we have another question that was written in, and then Mike T's question, but we'll save that for next week, and we'll do shout outs. Shout out to there's one piece of Star Wars news. It's slightly spoilery if you're super sensitive to spoilers. If you're not, hang in there, and if you are, skip ahead about 80 seconds, 70 of which we're going to do our 100 countdown. 99,
98.
I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be back.
It is that there is a big scene that was shot in a swamp between a resistance army and a First Order army. So not the hugest spoiler, but it is something.
Do we want to return to Dagobah?
I don't need it. I don't need it.
What if there's some kind of ancient thing at Yoda's?
I'm not against it. I'd have to see it in context. My thing is I want to start building new legs for this thing to stand on. I want to stop relying on the old legs. However, they say that the helmets of the resistance troopers are all in camouflage. So that makes me think of Endor. It makes me think of JJ. It doesn't give me the warmest feeling in the world. But the helmets are like Zuvios, supposedly, for the resistance troopers. So you might get ready to have the biggest potential custom army in the world.
I'm onto something, guys.
So I thought that was worth mentioning. Shout out to the rest of the Cool Table Network, Shadowcast Uncut, End of the Realm, Beer and Bolters 40K, Plastic Fanatics, Stasis Lock, Toy Detox, Building Up to It, Fresh Communications, Breaking the Mold, and our newest show on the network, Verbally Challenged.
Hey!
So, he's already been a part of the table anyway, but just in a different way now. So
shout out to Jose.
Good fella. And shout out to the rest of the Nerd Rage team. Raul, who I got to spend some time with.
Yeah,
always
man,
nice
that's great
to see
seeing
Raul. Marilyn and Black Phillips. Dante.
Phili.
Joe KW, who might be here next week. I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, but he might be here next week.
Or he might be in jail.
No. Don't, positive vibes only. Yeah, and that's it.
And with that said, lovely breasts.
Tastiest taints.
Tightest of dicks.